Welcome, listeners of Illusion, to the Dungeon of Confusion. Come with us now as we spin you a tale to quicken the heart and chill the blood. But of course, you are not familiar with me or this place. Let me remedy such by stating my name is Archie McNeil, the co-writer of this tale with my friend and your dungeon master for the evening, Nikolai Popsky. Through the question of what if, we created this place with its melancholic overtones and hapless villagers. And we threw down the challenge to any and all who felt themselves brave or foolish enough to step up and experience what we have created, to truly open up the dungeon to the world and see who bit down on the bait. But now I hear a group of such brave fools at our gates. Time alone now will show the true motives of their hearts, for now it's time to raise their portcullis and open the dungeon.
Welcome to the Penance Halloween Project. This is episode 6. Tonight we have what is considered the all-star cast because it's 3 people from different pods and 1 other person who also is very keen to play. So, we will start at the top. Who are you? Where will people know you from? And if you're from a podcast, tell us a bit about it. We'll start with Belly.
My name's Kyle. You might see me on Twitter as Boognish Theory. I am the Dungeon Maestro for the BomBARDed podcast, where my bards play some music. And yeah, I'm playing Belay Squire, a halfling fighter who has a penchant for climbing and shooting.
Next we have Diana.
Hi everybody, my name is Lynn. I don't have a podcast. I'm new to streaming. You may have seen me on Twitch on September 15th helping out with Non-Toxic Gaming, where I was being DM'd by the amazing Kyle. We were benefiting checkpoint.org, doing a wonderful 24-hour stream to boost some mental health awareness. That was my first stream. So I'm going to be doing a few more things between, here I hope. So look for me on Twitter and for me maybe on Twitch, and I hope to see you there.
Cool. Very good causes. Next we have Rutherford.
Yeah, I'm Scott from CSI Neverwinter, the podcast. I'm the dungeon master there, and tonight I'll be playing Rutherford. He's a bear and a fighter and a socialist from the Neverwinter Woods.
And finally, we have Talbot.
Hello, my name is Scott. I'm also from a podcast, but not the same as the other Scott. I'm the host and DM for Seasons of Skyrend, which is a D&D podcast. You can find me personally on Twitter at @TheScottBlake, if you ever want to chat with me. And today I'm playing Talbot Tailfinger, who is a tabaxi wizard with awesome spots.
You know what? I just realized I spaced out a little bit. I forgot to tell you that I am playing a human rogue.
No problem.
So excited. It made sense in my head and I forgot to tell you all.
Well, rogues are sneaky, it's fine.
Yeah, just gotta sneak that detail in there.
As attack.
No problem. So, the story begins. You have all independently responded to this plea, effectively for help, on a tavern wall by a wealthy merchant. He basically has said that anyone who can help him find his son has to meet at this bar at this time, and he'll pay them quite handsomely for assisting him in finding his son. So you all arrive at this tavern, and you basically say, where am I going? And the bartender goes, oh, you're over on that table over there. Even Rutherford, who is quite alarmed that this bear's walked in and is speaking to him, but he's seen a few druids in his time, so he's assuming that you're just a druid that just likes the form.
Perfect.
So you're all sitting around this table, and eventually, after about half an hour after the time you were due to be there, this merchant sort of walks in. He's quite an elderly looking elf. He's got like obvious finery about him. He looks quite rich, but he's got a sort of worried expression on his face. He sits down at the table and he just looks you all sort of over quickly and then says, "Thank you, my friends. I very appreciate you all coming at this, well, I guess short notice for me to put this notice up, but, you know, if nothing else, I'm very aware that some of you are just after my gold, and that's understandable, but if it keeps you loyal to my cause, then I'm very grateful, but please just find my son."
Many people is what I do.
Oh, I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you, friends.
Well, what details do you have for us? Don't keep us in the dark.
Well, I guess I should start at the beginning with this tale. About a year ago, I heard some rumblings, shall we say, that there was this fishing village in the north. And, you know, everyone tells you, oh, there's a fishing village in the north full of money, and you're like, yes, of course there is. But the men came back and they told me, time and time again, that there was this fishing village in the north that was like dripping in gold. The people were walking around like caked in this beautiful golden jewelry, and there was all this wealth there, but there seemed to be no shops or dealers or anything. And as merchants do, you evaluate the situation, and well, we decided that maybe it was time to set up a new shop in this Eisenport, as it was called. So as I packed to leave and take my men with me, my son approached me, and he said, "Papa, I wish to be the one who does this journey. I wish to be the one who takes control and goes to this Eisenport and takes all I've learned from you over the years, and I want to be the one that sets up the shop. I want to prove to you, Papa, that I've learned and I can make it on my own with your blessing." And as any father knows that when their offspring comes to them finally and says, "Papa, I can do it," you feel a sense of pride. You feel like this is a very important step in their life, and this could be the thing that makes them their own man, if you know what I mean. Well, elf in this case, but you get my gist.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
And that was the start of it. I mean, if I'm honest, I did expect my son to come back with his tail between his legs and say, "Papa, I couldn't do it," because he's never been out of the city, you see. He's always been effectively, well, to use a sort of more motherly term, he's always been tied to my apron strings. He's been very fascinated by my business for many years, but he's never shown this urge to take control before, and I felt it finally that he feels he's confident enough, and I wanted to help him with that and, you know, help him move forward and find his own way in the world. I mean, he was nearly 70, and for an elf to not find their own path after 70 years is beginning to wonder, you know. Well, I know it's a bit, well, awkward to say as a father, but you kind of want them to find their own way in life and spread their wings, as it were. But anyway, this does not digress with such things. My son left with the mercantile party and he went up north to this Eisenport, and he sent me letters. I have them here if you wish to peruse them once you've heard my tale. But my son, he sent me these letters, and first of all it sounded like he was getting somewhere. He was, you know, establishing himself and beginning to, you know, make the sort of feelers and get yourself ready to promote a business. But then suddenly, out of the blue, this last letter we received just discussed that he wished to marry, which didn't seem like my son. And when I replied, the messenger came back saying they could not find my son. So the next mercantile party I said, "Please, if you find Dorian, can you please give him this letter? It's from me. Let him know that his home is still here, and if he has settled down and he has moved on, then that is fair enough and understandable, but I just would like to, you know, make sure he gets this letter." Unfortunately, that letter came back, and they also told me that not only had they never seen my son, they'd asked around the village and nobody had even heard of my son.
Very interesting.
Well, I am Simple Bear. I do not know how to read. Is anyone else able to peruse these letters?
Yes, reading is not a problem for me, Rutherford.
Thank you.
But by all means, let us have the letters. Let us look over them.
Yes, of course.
It may be of some help.
We could help Rutherford like sound words out. We could teach you how to read. I mean, I'm a bear that speaks, let alone a bear that reads. I mean, people would come miles around.
It's true. We could make lots of money this way. Much gold.
Yes, but none of those will save this man's son.
We must find the son.
Exalted Papa, I have arrived at Eisenport with the rest of the party to begin learning the trade in which you have earned your revered reputation. Truly, this tiny seaside village is a glittering gem, comparable to those that nestle in the glistening jewelry adorning every ear, wrist, and throat. Even the shoe buckles, belt clasps, and other adornments are wrought from the finest goldwork, crafted by a gentleman called Anders, who is coarse but skilled. All the men have been welcomed warmly, given the best lodgings at the local tavern, and the most mouth-watering delicacies to savor, along with the finest wine the region has to offer. The village is as pretty as a picture, and for all that it is a fishing port, smells only of sweet pine, so evocative of our own sylvan home. Here too, Eisenport has been blessed. Even the hardiest trawler working the richest seas cannot compare to the hauls brought by these women on their delicate skiffs. The women are industrious and pretty, and turn their hand to all labor, that the men may abide at home to better teach the children. An unusual arrangement, but one that appears to serve the town well. On the morrow, I seek an audience with the mayor of the place, and will tell all I can of the matter. Until then, I remain your devoted son, Dorian. Well, it sounds like a very wonderful port.
It sounds really nice. Yes. We should go there.
Yes, that's what this man is hiring us to do, I believe.
All right, cool. This is all very good idea, I like.
Well, I'm really interested with the meeting with the mayor. Nobody, you were just saying that nobody remembers your son.
Yes.
But if your son had a meeting with the mayor, or at least put in for a meeting with the mayor, there's got to be some paperwork behind that, I imagine.
That's what I told the men, but when the men asked, this mayor, this matriarch as she was known, was completely dismissive. She said she'd never seen my son.
No offense to any, your station or anything, or your success as a merchant, but perhaps there's just so much gold up there, your men were bought off for their silence and told you a lie.
Well, that is potential, but these are men I've known for years. One especially that's been a very close friend of my family.
No, well, see, these are details I don't know, but important questions to ask, I feel.
Do we know the mayor's name?
Well, I asked the men. Apparently she's just known as the matriarch.
The matriarch.
He was intending to marry.
Maybe that's why he was trying to see the mayor.
That was the last letter I received from that mentioned the marrying. The first three he seemed more of himself, shall we say.
That seems like something that really was the linchpin. That you said that seemed out of character for him.
Well, as you read through the rest of these letters, you'll see what I mean. He seems to change. The final letter especially does not seem like my son.
Well, so far it seems like nice place and he seems in good spirits. Maybe we should read next letter.
Yeah. I tell you what, Talbot, I got this one for you. You want to read the letter, I'll read it to you. Revered Papa, this town is not without its mystery. My meeting with the mayor of the town, called her the mother, progressed apace, with the same eager welcome extended to all and the expressed fervent wish that we should stay if we could. Secretly, I believe they may wish us to turn our hand to their labors, as their own men refuse to do. I have spoken with Anders the goldsmith, who is jealously protective of his craft. Here I have encountered the first obstacle in my quest to learn your trade. Anders will not sell his pieces for trade to other ports, nor will he reveal the skills he uses in creating such wonders. I made it clear that a good and fair price would be paid, but the dwarf will not sell. In the typical stubbornness of his race, okay, so we know Anders is a dwarf. In the typical stubbornness of his race, he muttered something about a price already paid on the pieces. Such a cryptic nature will make him a challenge for any merchant. I hope to win him with a further offer of haggling or trade, as well as the Dawn Whisper charm. Oh, the Dawn Whisper charm. Okay.
Well,
the charm is certainly working on the
well,
ladies.
My name is Dawn Whisper. It's a family reference, I guess.
Oh, well, that's good to know. So looking to trade. I mean, what was this item made of?
Well, it wasn't so much a charm, I think, as he was talking like, the family rub of the natural
sorry,
charisma,
totally
I guess.
misunderstood.
He's good with people. He's got some charm,
Gotcha. I thought it was a trade item. Sorry. Not too sharp on the wit. Anyway, The charm is certainly working on the ladies of the town. See, if I kept reading, I just would have gotten it. Such hospitality and warmth I have known nowhere else, save in our own sweet dell. The ladies guard their jewelry with as much jealousy as Anders, but with infinitely more sweetness. This one will claim a piece as a birthday charm, another as a scholarly prize. Wait, was that like a birthday charm, like an actual charm? I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting it right this time.
My understanding is this is him discussing the jewelry the women are wearing.
Okay, so we are talking about jewelry now.
Yes.
Just trying to keep it straight. Another is a scholarly prize. Another still is an heirloom, to the point that they, too, refuse to sell their pieces. The other offers we have had would overwhelm a lesser elf. Such suggestion and flirting is to be remarked upon in a town with no sailors to welcome them, but such body suggestion is firmly meant as simply high spirit. The maids here strictly observe the tenets of their faith, and will not so much as be alone with a man in a room without first being wed. Such chastity couples with such flirtation can be distracting, but my heart is strong. I have come here to please you, Papa, and to give you pride, and truly this is what I shall do. Until then, I remain your loving son, Dorian. So we know that the ladies in the area like to, be flirtatious and do their thing, but I don't see the harm in that.
They don't want to be alone with a man in their room. Maybe they're okay with being alone with other women.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Maybe I could get somewhere with some, investigation.
Yeah.
But
Or it could be that someone I'm Simple Bear, I do not know these things, but maybe some sort of religion is kind of clamping down on their desires.
That could be a good way to look into, Rutherford.
Yeah, I have no idea. Just my guess.
Hey, that is an idea, and we could definitely look into that.
As a socialist, I am very wary of religion.
And
And the bear as well. As a bear as well.
I don't know of any bear gods, so
yes,
maybe you could be the first.
I am the first. I am Rutherford, the bear god.
Oh, that's why you can talk. That makes sense now.
Yes, I can talk to anyone I want to. It's one of my, amazing... It's an amazing thing about me. I'm very powerful bear.
Definitely agree.
Thank you.
so there's another letter.
There is, yes.
Oh, yeah. Let's keep getting these letters.
Let's see what happened after this. I'm so curious.
Well, I suppose, Belay, if you just kind of whisper the words in my ears, I could read.
Okay, I'll whisper it just to save the voice a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me whisper them to you. Come here.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Belay. I much appreciated. Papa, forgive the brevity of this letter, my absence from the returning mercantile party. A discussion was had, and it was believed that all of us had been away from our families too long. It did not help that the Eisenport women were driving the men to distraction. Even Beothan, with his beautiful young wife and 3 strapping lads at home, had his eye linger too long on the Eisenport beauties. Luck was with us that only his eye wandered, and he may now look Ezria in the eye upon his return with nary a blush. Papa, whisper. I am not satisfied with Eisenport. Yeah, thank you. Oh, yes, trouble with the TH. There is great wealth to be had here, an oyster to be prized, open. The rub is discovering where best to place the leverage. Until I advise otherwise, I remain as a trade contact in the north. All requests, reports, and other writings are to be sent on the fastest carriage or by falcon, if urgent. This pearl of a place will be mine. I remain your son, Dorian.
Great job, Rutherford. You did real good there.
That was very helpful. Thank you so much. I think maybe we can take this on the road, after this,
Yeah.
our journey to this
Totally
journey.
agree. Bear and a halfling? Who sees that?
We got this covered. All right, but sounds like these women, it sounds like there's a little problem there. It sounds like Dorian seems to be getting a little obsessed with power.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they kind of, Beothan seemed like a pretty with it guy. Knew what he liked and sounded faithful. I mean, but, huh. Maybe the charmer got charmed.
Yes.
Not jewelry kind.
Yes.
You said there was one more letter?
There is
Two more letters?
This is the This is the final letter. Well, this is the one that does not sound like my son, but I'm really not sure what to think.
Oh,
This is brief.
Yes, the brevity has gone way up.
Much shorter.
Has everyone had a chance to read so far?
Diana hasn't read?
I can whisper in your ear if that would help. I have no idea what that would be.
I'll read it. Father, I have ceased my trade in the north. Decision to settle permanently in Eisenport. I have found a bride, Melia. Nuptial blessing. I hope we will be as happy as you and Mother were, and hope to raise your children as you have raised me, strong, wise, and full of hope. Dorian. I think he meant to say our children. He didn't sign it the same way he signed the others. What happened to Papa?
That's true. Changes from Papa to Father.
Language is completely different.
And he's found a wife. Well, that certainly gives us somebody to talk to.
True. He didn't apologize for the brevity of his note this time.
But the language is totally different is a very big giveaway.
Yes.
It's formal.
Too formal.
Too formal, yes.
Well, I mean,
It's almost too formal.
It's a little
Papa
too
is-
formal.
Papa is loving and intimate. Father is distant and
I'm just really wondering, if Dorian is still your son. Because last letter says, I remain your son. This one doesn't. Even though he calls you
else is
father.
actually. I would wonder if somebody else wrote the letter.
Yeah.
Or perhaps Dorian has been taken over by some other sort of nefarious power of some sort. The main thread through all of these is that the women of this town seem to have a lot of control over... Maybe I'm misreading, I don't know. Something's going on there, though, that's my feeling.
Yep. I guess we can definitely go check it out. That's more than enough to go off of as far as everything pertains to this manor.
Thank you, my friends. I'd very much appreciate that. The caravan will leave tomorrow morning. It leaves just outside here. Regarding your payment, I have 50 gold for each of you for now, and if you return with any proof of my son, I can pay you 200, 300, 400 if need be. Just let me know what your effective expenses have been.
You're the one who said 400, sir.
I will be richest bear in the world.
Well, I have learned from being a merchant that you may not be loyal to me, but money does keep people loyal.
That's true.
Yes.
Won't argue with you there.
Is there anything else you need from me before I leave for the evening?
What do you think of all this? What is do you have a suspicion about what happened?
My investigation before have come up with no useful ends, effectively. It seems that this Eisenport is... I don't know what it has done to my son or the men that have gone, but some that came back. I mean, Bjorn, for example, came back, and when I tried to question him after reading the note from my son, his simple response is, I don't want to talk about it. And he took his family and he left the city, heading somewhere to the east.
The others have come back.
Well, the parties that came back have been few, like only 1 or 2 men. They told us that they were offered longer work and something to do with building ships, but they said they had families they wanted to return to, and that's the only thing that brought them home, as it were. But those that did come back, as I said, most of them have long since journeyed onward.
Has that Beothan come back?
Beothan came back, as I said, and he journeyed to the east with his family. He said he wanted to get as far away as possible. He said that it left bad memories for him.
He was not specific about memory.
When I spoke to him, all he kind of told me is that Dorian seemed... well, what's the word? Not obsessed, but he was getting that way. He wanted to prove himself as a worthy merchant. If I'd known earlier, I would have sent word to just bring him home.
Yes.
We'll see what we can find.
Thank you, dear friends. As I said, if there's anything else you need of me, please just ask, and I will do what I can tonight before I leave.
Okay.
Do you know how to get there?
Well, there's a caravan outside. It takes about 2 days to travel. It stops off in some small village on the way up north and then carries on to Eisenport the day after. That's where all our messengers go.
Sounds nice.
All right.
Well, that'll be 2 days gone, but we'll get there.
Okay. The merchant stands up, bows to you all, and then takes his leave. Are you wanting to discuss
Bartender
it?
rounds around that guy.
The barman just continues the tab that you had before, just you carry on drinking long into the night, and the next morning, some of you are slightly hungover, some of you seem fine for it. You are all around as the cart begins to load up to leave.
Okay then.
I want to sit in front. I get very sick if I sit in back, and if I read. But I don't know how to read, so it's no problem.
Well, I'm really happy to not have a sick companion on this trip, so I'm not going to argue.
And I'm aware I vomit it's bad.
Oh.
It's very bad news.
So Diana is very happy to just not argue, and I'll take the other seat,
All right.
It's
I don't
a-
mind sitting in the back. Be
It's
easy.
like a sort of covered cart with a single driver, but there's a space next to the driver, and it's a single like black horse.
Does the driver seem concerned there's a bear?
He's seen enough druids in this town to sort of be like, he's slightly nervous that this bear wants to sit next to him, but he's not too bothered by it.
I whisper in his ear, I'm like, I am druid, do not worry.
He sort of looks at you and like, could you not, change into your normal form for traveling?
Well, I mean, I am bear druid. You never heard of that?
He sort of just gives you a look of just, it's better not to argue, and just turns back to his horse.
All right, well, hey, thank you for driving. Thank you very much. I need to sit up here or I might get very sick. I have very bad car sickness.
He just sort of nods and goes, alright, well, we'll be stopping in Missenden in about 4 or 5 hours. Once we're there, I need to feed Flash here, and he taps the horse on the arse. Once Flash is fed, we'll be able to head on to our second stop, which is Bishop Under Puddle. That's the nighttime stop, where we stay overnight. And then, tomorrow, we do a quick stop in Limestock Bay till again I feed Flash here, and then we're on to Eisenport.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You've traveled this road many times, I take it?
I get paid to take the news up and down. It's not a problem.
Well, speaking of payment, are we paying you?
He sort of pulls a bit of parchment out of your pocket and looks at it and says, nope. I've been told exclusively here that I've been paid to take you up and down. You're Rutherford the bear, yes?
Oh, yes, Rutherford Bear Druid.
Right, that's fine. He sort of scrunches it back up and stuffs it in his pocket and says, yep, you've all been paid for, don't worry about it.
Oh, sweet.
Wonderful. Well,
Have you ever made this trek in the dark?
Well, me and Flash here have been doing it for about a year and a bit. But,
Okay.
we don't really pay attention. I mean, I kind of get paid not to talk to people, really. They got their own business, especially if they're messengers. Not supposed to talk to them. They especially are ones that are meant to be, hush-hush, because it could be secret information they send, but,
Who told you?
okay.
The last messenger I got in here told me that I wasn't allowed to talk to him because he was taking secret messages back.
From where?
From Eisenport down here, something about some kid. I don't know.
Oh,
He kept telling me his job was important, so I just ignored him and just focused on the road.
Do you know that person's name?
Nope, he wouldn't talk to me. I asked him multiple things, whether he likes the rain, whether he's seen a cow, whether he likes the fish. Nope, wouldn't talk to me, just sat there silent with a sulky look in his face.
What do you
Did
think
you say-
Oh, sorry.
No, go right ahead, Rutherford.
My bad. I talkative bear today. Sorry. Little hungover. When I'm hungover, it's weird. I know.
No worries. No worries.
What's your feelings on Eisenport, sir?
Oh, the women there are strange, but they're not as bad as some of the women in the other towns. Women in the other towns, they've gone too lally.
What do you mean?
Well, if it wasn't for my wife yelling at me that I have to scream at them I'm a eunuch, a younger man would, he'd have his pick, shall we say.
Interesting.
Now, earlier you said you asked him, does he like the fish? Or like to fish? Sorry.
Well,
You
there's
can
lots of
cut
fish
that.
on the way up. It's the only thing you see when you travel and you pass lots of lakes.
Fair. I thought you said like the fish, and I was gonna be like, what, do we get a meal on this trip? What's up?
Oh, sweet. I'm up front. Is that first class or something? That's cool.
Well, I've got Flash's
Like it-
oats here. You can maybe have some of them if you like, but don't take too many. He's quite a greedy horse.
Do you have hot towel? Anything like that? Hello.
I can
hello.
make you one if you want, but it'll
No,
only
it's
be hot for the first 10 minutes.
Oh, it's all right. I'm good. All right. Well, thank you for information on Eisenport. I think that's helpful.
Oh, goodness.
You talk a lot for someone who's not supposed to talk too much.
Well, no, Rutherford, I think it was the last person who didn't want him to talk to him. But I mean, if we just don't want him to talk to us, we can just say that we have, secret messages.
I like it when you talk.
Yeah, no, I think, he's been traveling the road, seen a lot of interesting things, I'm sure. So, yeah.
It keeps me focused, not so sick.
Yeah. I don't think we even got your name, sir.
Oh, my name is Julian.
Julian. Pleasure to ride your cart.
So he sort of nods to you, and then he stands up, rings like a handbell, and says, "Leaving for Eisenport shortly. Anyone else who wants to come?" And after about 5 minutes of ringing the bell and nobody turning up, he sits back down and sort of makes the whoosh, and Flash starts leading you off towards this road out of town that leads into a forest.
Awesome. On the road again.
I love
The
the woods.
are the sides to the carriage, Diana, lean out a little bit and get some fresh air as we're riding along, or
Yeah, that's fine. It's a covered cart, but it's not the most
it's not
sturdy,
like
as it were. It's quite sort of rickety, so you can lean out windows and stuff like that and have air coming in. It's no problem.
I'm going to
Yeah.
climb onto the roof and just yell faster, faster.
Oh goodness,
Okay.
just in a couple of days.
Julian, right? Julian?
Yes.
Is this safe trip? Like, should we be watching out for any sort of attack or things like that? Robbers, thieves?
A few years ago, there used to be a couple of robbers out, but I haven't seen any for a long time. You don't
Right.
really see too many people on the road. All you really see is, well, when we get near Missenden, you see a lot of people out doing forestry. And
Will they attack
that's
us?
really about it. When you go, the only other one you'll see people out and about in is up by Limestock Bay. You see a lot of the women there going to the limestone mines. A lot of hard labor. They look a lot older for it than they should.
Interesting. All right, well, I'll take bear nap. That's very cool.
This giant snoring bear next to him on the thing as he
I
climbs
forgot.
along.
I forgot my CPAP. Little sleep apnea. I will be snoring a lot on the trip. I'm sorry. Hope I do not attract any sort of large animals. Larger than me, of course.
So
I'll keep an eye out on top of the roof. Looking around with my crossbow, just acting like there's something out there. Like, I got him over here. I got him over there.
Kind of keeping watch from inside. I've got my spyglass out, periodically checking things out.
Okay.
I think I just disappear into my own thoughts for the ride.
You push through the forest and eventually you come to the other side. As soon as you sort of burst out of the forest, and you do see quite a lot of small groups of foresters to your left and right as you're going along the road. It looks like it's a mixed group of men and women that are just cutting down trees. None of them look like your standard forester, the sort of big muscle-bound idiots. They look very sort of small, normal-sized, people, your typical villager, rather than your contracted forester or anything like that. As you continue along the road, about half an hour later, you sort of come into this small town square where there's an inn. There's what looks like a guild hall. It looks like it used to be some kind of shop, but it's long since closed down. It looks dusty and abandoned. And there's a bunch of effectively houses. They look like they were temporary housing, but they've been lit up for so long that they've kind of taken root, if you know what I mean. And behind the inn, there's a small lake. And as you pull in, Julian jumps down and begins attaching a nose bag onto the front of Flash.
Rutherford,
Get
wake
out.
up.
Oh, are we here yet? Yes, here we are. Okay, good job. Thank you.
Julian looks to you and says, "This is Missenden. You've probably got about 2 hours, maybe 3, till I'm done feeding Flash here. He can't run in a full stomach, you see. He's getting a bit old."
Okay.
All right, where are we again? I was totally out.
You're in Missenden.
Messenden. All right. Okay.
Julian, what's there to do in Missenden? Well,
Well,
you ever hit hot spots while your horse eats?
There's not really much to do, I guess. There's an inn if you want food. There used to be a shop there that used to sell like furniture and knickknacks and all that kind of stuff, but it's been shut for a while. Apart from that, there's just really the inn. As I said, Flash needs to eat, so I can't miss the town really.
Well, we can hit the inn, and if I get drunk enough, I might want to...
It's only a couple hours, Rutherford.
Oh.
Maybe we just eat and not get too drunk?
Alright, no shopping then. Alright, that's fine.
Well, I mean, if that one little...
I can only shop when I'm drunk. I'm sorry. It's a thing.
You could get drunk and shop. Even though that store's closed down, I mean, that means stuff's at a 5-finger discount, right?
Yes, it's... Well, I'm... no, I...
5 paw disc... or 5
I don't know how
discount.
many... Claws, paws. Alright. Let's go to the inn. I think that sounds good. I'm hungry. Hungry like bear.
I'm on my way and I'm shaking my head.
So,
Are there other people around? Other people around?
there's a couple of small groups of men, but for every group of man there seems to be a couple of women like trying to talk to them at the same time. You notice that the difference is maybe about a 60-40 split women to men.
And how far are we, Julian, from Eisenport? Sorry, I walked back to Julian to ask him.
Julian's sort of standing by the horse smoking a pipe, and he goes, well, we travel to Bishop Underpuddle and we stay there overnight, and then we go on to Eisenport, so about a day away.
Alright, okay, thank you. I walk back to the group.
I think we're already at the inn. So
Alright,
just about to the door.
So
at least that's what I'm doing. Talbot didn't wait too long. I'm hungry. I want to get in.
Diane is with you, like, ready to get a drink.
So you walk into the inn. There's a couple of tables that are free, a couple of tables that are full. Again, there seems to be about a 60-40 split women to men. The women seem to be like all around the men that are there. It's not that many, and you hear a sort of strange, like, ruckus kind of coming from upstairs. The barmaid sort of gestures towards a table as you walk in and looks very strangely at Rutherford.
It's okay, I am Bear Druid.
She sort of looks quite confused, raises her eyebrows a bit, but then sort of nods and goes
You get
to go
it.
back to busying herself.
Don't mess with me, you understand. Can I roll a perception check on the ruckus upstairs?
You can, yes, roll.
11.
You look up and you go, I wonder what that could be. And as you you hear someone start moaning really loudly and you're like, ah.
Oh, I see. Alright, I get it. Alright, what's the drink?
Okay, that's officially piqued Diana's curiosity. Can I join him in that perception check?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Because not that I don't trust his assessment, but I don't really trust his assessment.
It's fine,
That's
no one
fine.
trusts me. I'm Simple Bear from Wood, so it was...
You're like, that sounds like a fight. And Rutherford's like, no, it's fornication.
Yes, it's love.
Could be both. I don't know. Could be really rough foreplay. I don't know.
At this point,
Convinced.
the barmaid sort of walks over and says, what are you drinking?
Do you have any water?
She sort of looks at you and just in a very kind of like, oh, okay. As in, even when she's like, she
I'll
thought, well,
pay
maybe
for
you're
it.
a druid, but now she's got close up to you, she's like, are you not an actual bear?
No, perhaps, I don't know. What do you want me to say? Do you seriously, you have water here?
The bear has money.
I have money.
That's
I'll
all.
pay
That's
for
all
the
that
water.
should matter
sort
to
of-
you, right?
I don't
So
pay
you
for
sort
your
of give him a
silence.
slight check over and like, where would you keep it? And she sort of just goes, it's probably better not to ask, and just stays quiet and looks
Yeah.
at the rest of you.
Yes, it's fine. I have money for your silence and your water, okay?
Okay. She sort of nods towards you and then looks at everyone else and says, what are the rest of you having?
Just milk, please.
Wine.
Oh, I should
Red.
have asked for milk.
So, we've got
Whatever.
water, milk, wine, and...
Whatever your house ale is fine.
Alright. She wanders off and comes back a couple of minutes later with your drinks. She sits them down, you hear the ruckus suddenly stop, and you hear a door opening, and one of the foresters is sort of walking along and comes down the stairs whistling quite happily, readjusting his belt.
Oh, dear God. I knew it.
I apologize, Rutherford. You were right.
It's alright. I mean, why would you trust me? Who knows? So, is the barmaid still here?
She comes back over and says, is there anything else you're after?
Well, I'll tell you a secret if you tell me one.
Alright. You first.
Really, I don't think. Damn it, that's how I get screwed on this one. All right, anyway. All right, so here's mine. I am real bear. Just gonna throw that out there. Do not get scared. I'm fine. I'm very civilized. I'm potty trained, everything.
But how do you talk?
Oh, I'm very powerful. There's lots of bear magic going here. It's got lots. I'm extremely powerful bear.
You just see her nodding at you, quite confused.
Well, anyway, now that I've confused you, but I told you my secret, can I ask you one?
Sure.
What could you tell me about Eisenport?
Can everyone roll me a perception, please?
Yes.
Sure.
Be sure to give us the bare minimum.
Yes, I like that one.
Two natural 20s, okay.
Yes. Tell me all you know. Tell me all your secrets.
You notice that all around you everyone's grown quiet whenever you mention the word Eisenport. So much so that you could literally hear a pin drop, and actually upstairs you hear the sound of crying.
Okay, I'm a real bear, I get it. Jesus.
The barmaid sort of looks around at everyone there and then sort of leans towards you and says, well, they come down here about twice a year, and they try and recruit men. They try and take them up north to do work on some building something or other. They offer them a lot of gold to go. We don't see them back here after that. And if they're married, their wives usually receive a letter saying they've met their true love.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Who said oh?
Well, I mean, not for the wife, obviously, but
Yes.
good for the men, I guess. But that
Really?
would
I
certainly.
suspect not good for the men.
I mean, you can't blame them if they fall for love. That's just how it goes, right?
I guess.
Is it not real love? Is that what
In
you're trying to say?
Neverwinter we live our lives, monogamy is a big deal, you need to be faithful, It's weird.
Might be some really amazing women, but I'm starting to think that there might be something more just how they look. When was the last time they came recruiting for men here?
Usually they come down in like the spring and then again in the fall.
Oh, so we shouldn't expect them tonight or anything.
Well, they were meant to, don't say meant to, they're usually due around this time of the year, but for some reason they've not come down this year.
Oh dear.
Well, since the spring anyway. It's getting into the fall now, and usually one of them turns their ugly head up and rings that bell and says, come work for Eisenport, we have gold. But for some reason there hasn't been one.
Wait, ugly head?
She sort of spits and says, they're husband stealers. I don't have any love for them. If I've sat here and consoled enough girls in my time, I don't want to see them again.
Have they stolen your husband?
They took my husband about 2 years ago. He went up north to try and find work because they told him they'd give him 400 gold. Never saw a penny of it. 3 months later, I got a letter in saying that he'd met his true love in the Golden North, and he wasn't coming home.
Had he written you like any other letters before that one?
He sent 1 or 2 just telling me he still loved me and that the place was nice, but that's about it.
So, but this last letter you got, would you say like maybe the way that your husband would normally write or talk to you changed in any way?
It sounded more dismissive, but that's about it.
Okay.
Has anyone in village or inn or any of the men returned and is still here?
Very few. 1 or 2 came, but they seemed to come home, collect their wives, and leave.
Yeah.
They didn't stay long enough to properly engage with the community ever again.
All right.
Okay.
At this point, you hear the sound of someone staggering down the stairs, and you look over to the stairs and see a girl in a very strange-looking red dress sort of wobbling her way down the stairs.
Interesting.
Does she appear injured or just to be the partner of the gentleman who was adjusting his belt buckle.
She seems dazed, and she's got one hand on the side of her head as she's walking down the stairs really unsteadily.
Oh dear. I run over to her and she's probably very scared of me, but I try to comfort her and see what's wrong.
As the bear walks over, she sort of stops and looks at it and seems to look like she's seeing things.
Do not be alarmed. I am real bear, but I see you have some sort of injury. Are you okay?
Do a perception check.
Okay. I got the 4.
You got a natural 1. She just seems to sort of go.
I crit failed.
She sort of staggers back a bit and sits down the stairs and just looks at you like, fuck, I'm seeing things. You notice that she's spinning slightly.
Alright, little help. Someone over here. Diana, someone.
I can't resist helping a lovely lady in distress, so I'm coming over to assist.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to table. I think I'm just making her nervous.
Okay. So
Roll check on
a perception.
Okay.
Natural 20 again. You notice looking at her pupils are different sizes. She's completely concussed.
Happened. I'm holding her head gently and looking at her for other signs of injury.
She's definitely struggling to sort of focus on you, and she just goes, and she sort of, you see her like it looks like she's trying to think of something, and then goes, 10 gold, 10 minutes. I just need an ale first.
And I kind of signaled somebody, she's been injured. She's asking for an ale.
The barmaid sort of looks, alright. She got the gold for it, and you notice her hold up a hand, and she seems to be clutching a sort of handful of gold at this point, shaking it.
Is the man that came down, is he still in the inn?
He is long since left the inn.
Oh, crap.
Any chance I could heal her?
You can try and heal her, yes.
Yeah, I want to go over and try to do something nice for her. How do I do that?
Just roll and see what happens.
Don't be a bear.
I mean,
she did not like that. It did not work.
God! My second crit fail there.
Crit fail, you go, I'll just heal you, all I need to do is just whack, and you smack her in the middle of the forehead. And she just collapses backwards and goes, and the barmaid goes, here, don't be hitting my girls, that's only for paying customers.
I was trying to help, I swear.
Kind of cradle her protectively and look at Talbot. What?
I'll excuse myself now, I'm sorry.
You've made it worse.
I'm just gonna sit in the corner now.
You can sit by me, I made it worse too, it's fine.
Oh my goodness.
Put my hand on your shoulder, Talbot, I know you tried hard. My paw, I mean.
The barmaid comes over, hands her an ale and takes gold off her. She just seems to slug the ale back, and she seems to drink the majority of it in one large gulp. And you notice that she's even though she's sitting up, she's swaying to the left and right, quite obviously.
Looking quite concussed, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody know what room she was in?
You look up, there's only 2 rooms upstairs, it seems.
Hey, traveling companions, maybe while I'm with her, you can go and check if there's any evidence or...
Well, I have a feeling it was that dude.
Yeah, maybe he left something behind.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
I'll go upstairs. That's no problem.
This is a small town. I mean, bar lady, who was the last customer?
She sort of looks at you and shrugs and says, nah, we get paid well. I don't ask that.
So you let them hit them for money? Is that what's going on up there? I totally misread all of it.
She, again, just sort of shrugs and says it's the girl's responsibility. If the client hits them, they can fight back. They've been told this, and we've told them all they need to be trained.
Rutherford, I think we might need to go visit that gentleman of his. Give that gentleman a visit.
Yes.
I believe so,
I think so too. We lost him. I would love to rough this guy up. Rutherford roughs up that guy, you know? I think that's fine. But we lost him. He left.
You can try and track him from outside if you want.
Can I intimidate that lady?
There's people around. They may have seen him.
Can I growl at the barmaid?
You can, yeah. Roll your strength.
Be strong.
Be strong, Rutherford. 13. God damn it. All right.
And she sort of goes, all right. It looked like it was Daniel. He'll be found by the river.
Daniel. Yeah, he'll drown in that river for what he's done. I don't know. Maybe not.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's go kill Daniel.
He can float in the river. He didn't kill anyone, but we can certainly send him a message.
You go swimming. in quotations.
With some fish, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so are you
With the
leaving to
fishes.
go and beat this guy up?
Well, maybe we could do that afterwards. But maybe we find out more information first, then we go kill Daniel.
Right.
I mean, as long as I can get a wine to go, I'm good.
Okay, so what are you doing before you leave then?
Giving the stink eye to this barmaid?
Can we now, if someone could actually heal our poor friend here, could we maybe ask her some information?
You can talk to her at the moment. She will respond. It's just she might be quite dazed and thinks that she's quite terrified that there's a bear talking to her.
Yes, I know she won't talk to me, so I'm staying far away. I'm whispering this from you. Someone, please, maybe just ask her about the Eisenport. Just real quick, just to see if anything.
Okay. I don't know what she'll know
Don't tell
in
her
her
I'm a
state. Okay.
Well, I tried to help and I accidentally hit her, so I think somebody else should give it a try. Don't think she will take kindly to me.
I can't imagine why.
The healing power of...
Talbot and I are really striking out over it.
Okay.
That's okay. So, Blade, do you want to come join me and
Yeah, sure.
some comfort to this
chat it up.
beautiful young lady?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, yeah, I'm just gonna sit with her and let her
You're sort
compose
of sitting with her
bit.
as she's got a very far away look in her eyes as she's just continuing to guzzle this very flat smelling beer.
Well, this is unfortunate. I don't know if you can actually understand anything that I'm saying. Blink once if you can.
You just see her nod very slowly.
Okay,
She
you
seems
kind
taking
of
her eyes away from
understand.
the beer.
You kind of understand what I'm saying. That was at least a yes in some manner. That was Daniel. Nod for yes.
She sort of looks up to you, and you, at this point, you definitely notice her pupils are different sizes. And she goes, "Yeah, I'm seeing bears."
I'm hiding now. I'm under table. Jeez.
That is a real bear.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry. Hey, someone else try and heal her instead of punching her.
Yeah, Rutherford,
I kind of
I'm yelling this from
Myself.
across the inn.
position
Scaring
myself.
everyone, I'm sure.
Okay.
So I'm blocking her view of Rutherford, so that's not a distraction
I'm
for
getting it.
her.
I'm sorry I came. I'm
It's
making this all
okay.
worse.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Now I'm crying.
It's all right. It's all right. And I just turn my attention back to her. It's okay. Don't worry about that. It's all right.
All you hear is her going, "Oh, there's a group of you. For 15 gold. 10 minutes. I'm nearly done with this ale."
That's no. That's not why we're here. Just to
Oh.
ask above table, we can all use that heal feature, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then Belay is going to do that.
Okay. Roll. Yep.
12.
You cast a heal on her. You notice that she seems to sort of shake her head a bit, and it's like the confusing look of why is the pain suddenly stopped.
Yeah. Is that a little bit better? You
She-
feeling a little bit more with it?
She blinks a few times, and you notice her pupils are slowly returning to normal size, but she just seems like looking around, like a bit more awake now.
It's good. Good job. Good job.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so you feeling a little bit better? You need another drink now that you're actually feeling better? I don't know if you should have been drinking, considering your state, but you're okay now.
She sort of goes, yeah, alcohol cures all, when she just looks at her beers and like they'd never done that to me before.
Yes, it was the beer. Absolutely. And I gesture for another round, both of wine and ale. And yeah, I'll pay for it, even though I don't want to give this person my money. Actually, when do we pay? I ask her, when do we pay?
She basically just takes money off you as you get drinks.
Whoa. All right, fair cop.
This lady.
I don't know where she would take it off of Rutherford, but you know. Well, speaking of
I'm
Rutherford, that bear is there.
I'm cowering further into the corner. I'm trying to
Holding
hide.
the beer, looking at Rutherford, going, "That's a bear.
I told you I was a bear. Okay.
Why is there a bear in the inn?"
All right. Everyone here, I am a bear. all right?
She sort of,
There.
she
The
sort of eyes
elephant
go
in the
wide
room.
for a second. She goes, no. I don't know what sick shit you're into. I don't do bears.
Oh,
No.
Good for you.
I
Good
don't
for
do-
you.
Neither do I. All right? Jeez. I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette.
Now you smoke, Rutherford?
Well, no, I might start now. This has been a really frustrating last 20 minutes.
All right.
Okay, so as Rutherford backs slowly out the door of the inn, what are the rest of you doing?
Not too far.
Okay. Yeah, Diana's really shaking her head at that one and trying to compose herself.
Rutherford peeks his head back in and is like, does anyone have a cigarette?
Or a pipe I can borrow.
All right. He goes back outside.
No, that's not what we're here for. We just wanted to make sure that you're okay. The stairs injured.
She sort of looks at you and blinks a few times and says, "What? Why do you want to know that?"
Hurt, and we saw you come down the stairs. We were worried.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I need to make my money. I have a young son. I need to keep going.
With all due respect, you're still injured.
She sort of stands up and gives you a look of sort of like needs must, and she sort of staggers towards the bar.
You know what? How about this? May I simply give you some coin for some time, nothing else?
She shrugs and responds with sure.
And I'll just invite her over to our table.
Okay.
And I'll just slide over a gold piece just to buy us some time to have a little bit of a conversation and let her heal up a little bit more while we talk.
Okay.
Ooh, Diana, what we could do is, since we have her, she can come watch us kick that guy's ass.
I don't know if she should be making any sort of a walk.
Lady, we don't know. Would you ride on a bear?
I told you I don't do animals.
Not like that. Not that kind of ride. I mean, like, we don't want you walking, stay off your feet, but if you could...
What do you want me to do?
There's not really an appropriate word that doesn't insinuate other connotations.
Is this some kind of bondage thing?
There might be leather involved, but that's a saddle. No. You know what? I'm gonna abandon.
Saddle?
Nope. I'm walking away from the table and saying, Rutherford, where is that pipe?
You hear a lot of coughing from outside the door.
Okay.
What
Come
now?
on, Rutherford. 2 times then pass.
All right. Yes, what now? You're going to have a ride me on a saddle?
No, I'm not going there. Y'all can finish the conversation however y'all finish it. I walked into a bad dead end.
Okay, so...
Well, does she know anything about Eisenport?
I forgot to ask.
You notice her twitch a bit when you say the word Eisenport, and she looks at you all like...
All right, I'll leave again. Jeez.
Asked that question when you wrote, got up in here with that question about saddles and made it a little awkward. So, good. Try it again. Thanks. Okay. So, and I looked at her. Do you know anything about Eisenport?
She spits on the floor and says, "Yep, my husband left. He left me and my young son to go to Eisenport. Told him not to go, but he told us the money was very good. Then after a couple of months, he sent me a letter to say that he'd met his true love and he wasn't coming home. The money he made at the start was the only reason we got to live properly for a few months. Now the money's run down, and if I'm going to feed my son, I need to work."
How long ago did he leave?
It was about a year ago.
Give a name for who his true love was. Pattern, if it's always the same
she sort of spits
person.
And says Jasmine.
Okay, so it's not always the same person. It is always, I think, somebody different. The theory going in my head, but so much for that. But it is always the same thing. It's always the same pattern. And how many letters did he send you while he was gone?
Only 1 or 2. Didn't get that many. Usually it was going to say he's about to send me coin, but he said they hadn't been paid yet.
He didn't send you a lot of letters, but what he did send you, that last one, in addition to sending you such, did the words sound different?
Well, he did use a couple of words that I hadn't really heard from him before, but it just sounded very much the sort of trying to let me down gently goodbye, really.
Someone too, and I'm thinking it's all very similar. So that's why I'm asking. I'm so sorry. Bad memories for you.
She sort of nods and You notice that she sort of like, the more she seems to think about it, the more she seems to sort of tear up as well, but then she sort of seems to snap out of it and try to pretend to be focusing on other things.
I'm just going to give her like 5 gold for her time, and because I feel really, really horrible that she's in this situation, and I want her to get a little bit more rest before she goes back to work.
Okay. Takes the gold off you, and well, she sort of smiles the best thing she can, and you notice that one of her front teeth is missing.
Anything else you can tell us about or how they've been recruiting the men that they take there?
She tells you that when they came down the last time, the last time she remembers, which was about a year ago, they basically went around all the foresters and asked them how much they were earning and then offered to triple what they were earning to come to Eisenport. They even gave them like upfront money to show a sort of sign of good faith, and that's the reason a lot of them left.
How many men at a time do they take?
The last time they seemed to take about 30? Maybe more. I think that was all the ones that were tempted.
About twice a year, usually.
Usually about spring and fall, yeah.
My traveling companions and say, is there anything else that you want to know? Anything else we should ask?
I mean, I don't think there's much more we're going to get from this woman, especially this far from Eisenport.
You hear Rutherford shout from like outside. Should we kill Daniel? Do you want us to kill ask her if we should...
It might be best that she doesn't know.
You hear a, "Do you want us to kill Daniel?" And you notice her kind of perk up, and she seems to mull it over, and then she looks at you and says, "Well, he's a regular. He's one of the few that continues to pay well, but recently he's been getting rougher."
It's like a regular dick.
Maybe we could give him a reminder,
Yeah, he might need to be taught, some manners.
Yeah. Yes.
I could do that. Belay has 1 skill point in etiquette, so.
Okay. At this point, you hear a and you look at the bar, and the barmaid sort of gestures towards a very sleazy-looking man who's standing at the end of the bar, like dropping 10 coins in a stack on the bar and picking them back up again. And he seems to sort of do a sort of eyebrow wiggle as she looks up to him.
Shit, is that Daniel?
I'm just gonna lean inside the door after chilling with Rutherford and be like, "Hey, let's go beat up that last guy she slept with. Come on, guys and gals."
Yeah, let's go.
You notice the sort of sleazy man look at you like, What?
Oh shit,
I just look to that man and I say, some people don't have very good manners.
It's true. Mind your P's and Q's.
He seems to nod, as in like, and he sort of looks at the barmaid, and the barmaid just shrugs.
Rutherford makes the sign for he runs one claw underneath his neck.
Roll intimidate. Roll your strength. Let's see what this does.
As he peeks inside.
The man just sort of goes and just sort of carries on. And as the girl walks up, he slaps her arse on the way up the stairs and goes, and you're just looking at him like, grrr.
Diana sees this, and she stops him, and she just sort of where he's at and brings one of her daggers up to his groin.
You hear him squeak really high-pitchedly.
Remember.
He sort of nods very enthusiastically and stares you in the eye with quite terrified-looking eyes.
And I wink, and I let him go.
Okay. He scrabbles up the stairs, then you hear the door slam.
Let's go find Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Daniel? That wasn't Daniel.
No, but that could be the next Daniel.
Oh, all right. Daniel 2.
Electric Daniel-oo.
All right. Well, yes.
You come out of the inn. Next to the inn, there's a sort of small group of men talking about things, and that's basically it at the moment. That's all you can really see. So, what do you want to do now?
We should find out where Daniel... Oh no, Daniel's by the river. We don't need to ask anybody where to find Daniel. We can go to the river.
Yeah.
Let's go to the river.
You walk between the inn and the Guildhall towards the lake, and as you walk past the Guildhall, you hear the sound of like something falling over inside the Guildhall.
Could be Daniel.
Did it sound like a body? Did it sound like
It sounded like something, like a box falling over.
Oh.
It's supposed to be empty, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like it should be empty.
Yeah.
Should we check that out? I mean, like, I know we're on the Daniel train, kinda, so
Might be him.
could be Daniel.
It's very true.
What dastardly act does this man not know?
Maybe he doesn't know the river is.
Maybe. Damn, Rutherford. That's insightful as all get out.
Maybe he thinks it's a river inside that hall. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm going to check it out.
All right, I want to see.
You walk up to the door, you push the door. As you push the door open, you hear a sort of small bell ringing above the door. And as you look inside, you see a small figure at the back. What do you do?
Are they, like, doing anything? Or are they just standing there?
They just seem to be like, you notice that they seem to be picking up a box and trying to like put it on top of the other boxes.
Hello? Is everything okay in here?
You sort of see them stop and look at you, and they sort of tilt their head and they start moving towards you, and they come out of the gloom, and it seems to be a child about 8 or 10 who goes, "Hello, are you coming to buy things?"
No, we're looking for a friend of ours named Daniel.
You notice his eyes sort of like that sort of like wide-eyed expression, and then they shrink back down after a couple of seconds with him, and he goes, "Oh no, he's not here. He'll be over by the river."
Are you okay? We heard a noise.
"Oh, I just tried to put the box over there, but it doesn't fit, so I'm moving it back."
No, don't be alarmed, young child. I am Bear. Let's get that straight before we even get going. But, young boy, why are you working in this hall? What are you doing in here?
I make baskets, and I thought if I came here and made my baskets here, I wouldn't have to walk around all the time.
Oh, all right.
Would you like a basket, large cat?
Oh yeah, we'll go with that. That's fine. I'm good.
He sort of looks at Talbot and looks at Rutherford, and he assumes they're both cats. And he goes, You're a cat that doesn't need clothes." And he sort of leans forward to pat you on the head.
Is he patting me on the head?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with it. Love me.
How much for a basket, young boy?
"Oh, I have to sell my baskets for 4 gold, because Mummy says I've not to take anything less, and no beans, because beans are not what she wants."
Well, you're in luck. I have no beans.
Have you heard Tale of Giant Beanstalk? Never mind.
I want to know what the hell those baskets are made out of.
But I'll definitely take a basket from you. Thank you so much.
He sits down and starts like, he looks like he's putting sort of like finishing touches on a basket he's almost finished making, and he seems to start threading it, and he looks up and says, "Well, Mummy has told me that I have to make baskets and sell them to anyone I see, because everyone needs baskets."
Yeah, very useful thing.
I'm sure we'll need a basket.
Are you staying in the town?
Yes, if we find Daniel, we...
No, we're leaving.
I don't think my mummy gives special hugs to cats, but she does to normal people. If people have normal people and they want to stay in the inn, my mummy does special cuddles.
Oh dear God.
So you were stacking those boxes to try to climb them, right?
Well,
Because climbing's a lot of fun to do as a kid.
well,
I remember.
was wanting
I still
one
climb.
as a seat to sit on because the floor is getting uncomfortable.
Okay, let's make you a seat real quick, so you don't have to sit on the floor, and you can greet your customers.
I'll help you with that if you want to do that.
This isn't my shop, but my daddy used to work here before he left to go up north.
Then it is your shop, kid.
Oh, but I only have baskets, and I need to tell people about them. They don't come to me anymore. I can't make things like my mummy did. She made this. And he holds up. He tries to offer you this and says, "My mummy used to make things like this. They are far better than baskets."
Ooh.
Yes, that's nice.
How much gold can we give this kid for a fancy spoon?
Is that the spoon?
It's a love knot spoon.
That's awesome.
Is this the only one you have left?
Well, my mummy can make more, but she says And he looks like he's trying to remember the sentence. I don't make that shit anymore. I have to do things you don't want to know about. And he sort of smiles like he sort of like happily remembered the sentence.
Oh dear God. Tell us more. What don't you need to tell us about?
Oh, well, my mummy says I'm not allowed in the inn because any customers that try and talk to me are bad men and I have to go away from them.
Right, like Daniel, right? You know what I'm saying.
Oh, he doesn't like me.
Yeah, we don't like him. No, he's our friend.
I offered to make him a basket, and he said if I offered him it again, he would take me to the woods. I don't want to go to the woods.
That's very rude of him.
Daniel seems like a real problem.
Yeah, he definitely needs to learn some manners.
All right. Well, we could buy her a spoon. I got gold.
I don't know how much Mummy wants for this spoon. You can have it and you can find her, and when you find her you can tell her you have the spoon, and then she'll go, that's a really nice spoon, I made that, and then you'll see her smile. She has a really nice smile, but you don't see it much anymore.
I tell you what, we can't just take it. You're running a business here. You have to either sell or trade. And I tell you what, I've got this. And I reach back into my backpack and I pull out a small straw doll. I say, this is Scott. I've had Scott with me for a long time. I've gone through a lot of climbs, had some good times. How about we trade you Scott for the spoon? Sound like a deal, businessman?
And he takes the doll and goes, that's a really nice doll. Hi, Scott. And he sort of looks at, like, he looks quite enthused by it, and he hands you the spoon.
Perfect. Good doing business with you, sir.
He does seem quite taken by the doll.
Let me mark off the doll and add spoon.
That was some solid trading there.
Totally worked one over on him.
Yes, we got a good deal there.
I wrote
feel
spoon
really
with an M.
comfortable with that level of trade. When we come back through the town, I may have to a little bit, but for now, let's just go find Daniel.
Okay. I mean, there was a lot of sentimental value behind that doll. I wasn't just saying, that's not just any doll. To me, I mean, it is just a doll.
I know, but a woman and her son can't pay their bills on sentimental value.
Can I just, like, quote unquote,
Touché.
accidentally drop like 15 gold on the way out?
As you walk out, he runs after you and goes, you dropped your bag of gold. This is a lot of gold. Mummy would be very angry if I left this. So have it back. And he offers it to you.
Oh, it doesn't look like mine at all. I don't carry gold with me. Oh, I'm terrible.
Roll to lie to him.
Come on.
Come on, no more crit fails. It's a 7. It's not great.
You tell him, no, it's not mine. And he looks really confused and goes, but no one else has been in my shop today.
I look to Talbot, why don't you give him a reward for finding it for you?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You're right. I did drop my bag. I didn't even notice. Here, how can I pay you for this kindness you gave me?
He looks very confused and goes, people don't usually pay me. Usually they kick me and say, you thieving child.
How about a tip for the purchase that we already made because of your excellent service?
Oh. And he sort of grins quite widely.
I want to hand him like another 5 gold.
He takes the 5 gold and seems quite happy with it, and then sort of skips back into the hall.
Okay.
A tear rolls down Rutherford's face. Let's go kill Daniel.
Yeah, I really need to.
Anticipated on this many feelings today, so.
I have some emotions I need to get out on Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed, Rutherford. Very much agreed.
Thank you.
You walk round the side of the inn and you see this lake, and on the other side of the lake there seems to be 3 men. One of them is fishing, the other 2 seem to be laughing.
I say, Daniel! Like,
one of them looks around and like, did I just hear my name?
Yeah, you did. Hey, come over here, asshole.
All 3 of them kind of look quite traumatized. A bear is charging towards them, shouting one of their names.
I just want Daniel, the other idiots can get out. Daniel, I have something to tell you.
You kind of wonder which one could be Daniel, as 2 of them look to the other one.
Oh, shit.
Rutherford, ask them to adjust their belt.
Adjust your belt. Wait, what? Oh, yes.
I mean, that's
right.
yeah.
Does
it look familiar?
The one that the 2 of them are looking at sort of has the more gleaming belt that you recognize from before.
All right. Wait, I have secret for Daniel.
The other two sort of like back away as the one who you recognise as Daniel is standing there, quite terrified that this bear is approaching him.
Alright, Daniel, come here for a second. I have a secret to tell you.
He sort of looks very terrified at you and nervously leans down towards your face.
Here's my secret. I am real bear. No one believes me. But, we are here to teach you lesson. And, I swat him in the face with my claws.
Okay, roll. Natural 1.
Damn it!
You smack him across the throat, you rip his throat out, it just pours blood everywhere.
Oh,
The other
no!
two run as Daniel collapses to the ground, like gasping, and then just goes silent as this blood is pooling everywhere.
Oh no! What have I done? I'm a martyr.
Oh God. Rutherford.
Well, you learned this lesson.
Belay is just laughing and clapping.
Killer didn't come anymore, thanks to us.
That was easy.
I'm getting out of there very quickly.
Let's roll him into the water and go back to the cart.
Let's
We should probably go.
Let's all agree, pretend this never happened. Right?
Whatever happened.
Exactly. Thank you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Are you
Alright.
lifting him before you push him into the water, or are you just pushing him into the water?
I've got the pieces all over my claws and face, I imagine. I just kind of...
You are covered in like a spray of blood, yeah.
I do a little bath. I bathe a little bit and get the blood, the brains off of me.
Okay. So are you gonna loot him, or are you just gonna push him into the water, or are you gonna dive in the water yourself? What are you gonna do?
I wasn't gonna rob his body, I just wanted to push him in the water. But if other people want to look for stuff...
Oh, I was
Go
going to
ahead.
rob his body.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You look over his body. He's got about 30 gold on him. He's just got an axe, and that seems to be about all the valuables he has on him.
Okay.
Oh, we might need to lay low now.
Are
I
you
will be
think?
gone in a couple hours.
You hear the sound of the bell ringing from the town square.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
That's
no,
got to
we
be
don't-
the bell for our Julian, so perfect timing.
Oh,
Did-
right. Oh.
Or is it folks from Eisenport coming to recruit the men?
Or is it the
Oh,
townspeople mad about us killing Daniel? And
They can't know about it yet,
arrested?
right?
Or is it only like 11 o'clock?
Well, let's
How
hope
many times did the
let's-
bell ring?
If you listen closely and you hear the sound of the bell ringing and say, "Cart to Eisenport leaving shortly."
Oh, thank God.
That's for us.
Run! Run!
Let's go.
And let's go.
Rutherford runs as fast as he can to the car.
I'm going to take out a piece of chalk, and on that bag that I found the 30 coins in, I'm going to write kid in shop on it. And when we run by, I'm going to open the door and be like, hey, kid, this is yours. It has your name on it. And then I just run away. And I just have to throw the bag at him.
Okay. Okay.
Good karma out of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get back
And back
in
to
the
the
cart,
cart.
and you very quickly leave the town with Rutherford like
Julian,
shaking
step
slightly
on it.
as he's on the front of the car.
Flash! Get Flash going fast!
So you leave Missenden, and you travel along the road. You travel over this like quite elaborate looking bridge, and this is like lake all the way around this next town. And as you pull into it, you see a sign at the side that says Bishop under Puddle. As you pull into this town, there's like an inn, there's like a medium-sized temple as it were, and there's lots of like again quite like temporary looking housing, and it looks like there used to be a lot of like fishing places, but a lot of them seem to be very old and dilapidated now. In the middle of the town, as you pull in, there's like a plinth, and on top of the plinth there's this crutch. So it looks like it must be held in high regard to someone, but it's just basically a crutch. It looks very heavily worn, and on the plinth itself it says St. Randolph's Crutch. So as you pull in, Julian gets off the cart and says, "Right, I'm going to take Flash to the stable for the night. He'll be good, ready to go in the morning." And he leads the horse away. So
Wait, Julian, hold on. Before you take Flash, what can you tell us about this town? Our area, or
oh right,
where we are right now?
there's a temple.
There's a temple.
It's to St. Randolph. Some fat man that failed to get up a mountain. That's all I really know. I've not really been paying attention.
Alright.
Apart from that, inn's warm. Girls are nice enough, I suppose, if you're into that. That's really it. Used to be a big fishing village, but don't see much of it much anymore.
Alright.
Would that ring a bell for Diana at all?
For a couple of you remember there being a couple of jokes in the city that you're from about St. Randolph, basically usually to people who are, I don't want to say clinically obese, but that's probably the best way of describing it.
Interesting.
Obese.
Probably the first one of these temples that I've actually seen. Heard of it, but...
It's about early evening at this point, so say about 9 o'clock at night.
Is there places to stay?
There's an inn.
Oh, there is an inn. All right. Oh, God. Well, we fucked up the last inn.
Well, since we only had something to drink at that place, none of us actually ate anything, I'm kind of hungry.
Yes.
You get some food as well as a drink.
Okay. As you walk towards the inn, a couple of girls seem to come out of the inn. They look about mid-20s-ish, and they immediately make a sort of beeline towards Belly. And they're like, oh, hi, if you want some company tonight, well, we're happy to oblige.
You guys know Daniel? No, sorry.
They look at you saying, who?
Never mind. That's an inside joke.
I mean, if y'all want to hang out, I'm not paying you to do it, but you can hang out.
Oh, but we only work for money, but we're very reasonable. I mean, only 5 gold for 10 minutes. I mean, you could have us both for 10 gold. I mean, that's a bargain, isn't it? And the other one starts telling you, yes, it's a bargain, and they start, like, stroking your hair and your face and everything.
Nah, I'm good, but I know a bear who likes getting petted.
If you want to pet me, you can pay me 5 gold.
It's true.
They look at you and look at Rutherford and go, oh, you're sick. We wouldn't do stuff with a bear unless you pay really well.
Just behind the ear, it's no problem. Just
scratch. You can scratch Rutherford the bear god for 5 gold, and maybe we'll let you hang out with us.
They look at you with sort of like exasperated expression and go, no, you pay us. If you want us to scritch your bear, you pay us. We're not doing it for free.
No way, you're getting the opportunity to scritch a talking bear.
How often do you get to scritch bear god?
They just look at Rutherford and they go, is he a druid?
No, he's not a druid. And if you knew the customs, I'm going to do an etiquette roll or skill.
Sure.
And just say, and if you knew the appropriate customs, you would understand how this business that you say you're a part of actually works.
Appalled or impressed?
They look impressed, but they're like, sorry, we can't afford to pet your bear, I'm afraid. And they sort of look like we're going to saunter back. Then they turn their attention to Talbot and go, wait. And they kind of work out, because they're not used to Tabaxi, trying to work out if you're a male cat or girl cat. And they're just like,
I'll save you some time. I'm not interested. You can pet somebody else.
They hear your voice and they go, oh, but we could scritch you if you wanted, and walk over and start scritching you behind the ears.
They're doing it for free. Make them pay 5 gold.
I'm going to kind of just take a couple steps back, put my hands up, try to push them away, gently. Just, I'm sorry, no. That's quite all right. You're very kind, but...
They look saddened, and they have one last look at Rutherford, and they look to be contemplating between themselves, and then they sort of shake their heads and sort of wander off.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
For free.
For free. Exactly what Belay said. He's fast. He's quicker than me. He's got +5 to funny.
No, Rutherford, you're quick to say what's on your mind, and sometimes that's worth its weight in gold.
Yes.
Some of us would have appreciated those scritches,
Exactly.
Sorry, we never asked Diana if she wanted scritch. I'm sorry, Diana.
Oh, I'm just saying, never mind. I just walk in and get a drink.
I'm so hungry, I'm delirious.
Let's go get our food. Let's just go get food.
You walk into the inn. Again, you find a sort of small table at the back, and the barmaid comes over and sort of looks at Rutherford as in she's not sure if he's an actual bear or if he's someone's pet, and she's just like, that kind of look of someone like, I want to say your dog's not allowed, but your dog looks quite terrifying look.
Alright, next town we have to get some sort of backstory figured out. Because this is ridiculous. Alright. We're hungry, I'm a bear, get over it, we have money, let's get some food.
Again, she sort of gives you you have money?
Yes, I know, you don't know where it is.
She sort of gives she looks at the rest of you and she mouths, where does he keep it?
don't
I just put my
know.
finger to my lips.
Too afraid to ask.
She nods and just turns to you and says, well, what do you want to eat?
What do you have?
Well, we have basic stew and basic food and usual stuff.
Stew sounds good.
What your special is tonight sounds really good.
Yes, the special does sound good.
She wanders away and comes back about 5 minutes later with like a couple of bowls of stew. And as you sort of wolf it down, it seems tasty enough. It's quite bland, but
Has it got potatoes in it?
it does, yes.
Fuck yeah.
It's very, very basic food.
Is it gluten-free? I'm just asking.
There's potatoes in it.
Oh shit. I vomit everywhere. I just
Oh no.
This is what we were trying to avoid all the while.
God damn it! Well, no one told me about the potato.
Gluten-free
Sorry,
bear.
I should have said something beforehand. It's my fault. I'll clean this up. No worries.
Just don't have the bread with the stew and you'll be fine.
Oh shit! I ate bread already. No one told me it had gluten. I'm sorry.
The barmaid sort of looks over at this vomiting bear and she's just like, why is the bear being sick?
It's a long story.
He's
Your
had a rough
poisonous
day.
food. We refused to pay for this. Your poisonous food is just ruining my bear friend's day. And I don't think we should have to pay.
She walks over and she says, what did he eat? Did he eat the stew? There's no fish in that. He's fine.
It doesn't matter what's in it. Obviously, bad reaction. I gotta go, and I run outside like I'm undoing my pants, and then
Oh God.
So her gaze follows you out the room. So she looks after you as you run out of the room and she's just like, has he got the runs?
and I'm screaming, "The food at the inn! The food at the inn!"
So, what's wrong with the fish?
She looks around and says, nothing. If you
Oh,
like
yeah.
some fish, it's there.
Well, it's all we can. Our friend is very sick now, so we get some sort of discount or something.
She goes, well, no one else has been sick that's eaten it.
Well, he has the runs. You saw he actually ran. He
Literally.
ran outside to have run. It's a pun.
She sort of looks very sort of suspicious and goes, well, it's not my cooking, but you can have some fish if you want. Some there no one's eaten.
I need a drink. What's the story with the fish?
She just sort of goes, oh, nothing, just, you know, the fish, they're just, you don't get as much meat on them as you used to.
Oh.
I get the impression from what I've heard as we've been traveling that this used to be a busier place and it's died down a little bit.
She sort of goes, oh, have you heard about the pilgrimage?
No.
Pilgrimage.
Oh, well, you know, the temple has its pilgrimage. We used to get a lot of people through for that, but the last few years we don't get many. If you want to know about it, you'll have to go and speak to the priest. He's up in the temple.
Oh. What is the pilgrimage? From where? To where?
It's from somewhere up north to some hill in the south. I don't know. Go speak to the priest. I don't care about it. The old bastard's the reason we don't have a canal anymore.
That is a problem.
I imagine that would put a damper on things. Happily eating my stew. It's clearly fine, by the way. I feel really bad for all these women whose lives are being affected by my compatriots.
Well, I didn't know there was potatoes in it. I'm sorry. It is my own fault. I should not have gone for it. I was so
I'm
hungry.
going to make sure she gets a nice tip. That's all I'm saying.
Well, maybe we should go find Belay. Head to the temple. He ran outside. Not sure if he was. Maybe we should go see what happened.
A while, hasn't it?
Yes, he hasn't come back. It's a little worrying.
All right. Should go check on him.
Okay, so you finish eating, you pay for about half the food, because one of you ran away and one of you was sick.
Yes.
Barmaid sort of looks a bit begrudgingly, but accepts it. And as you walk outside, Belly is again being chatted up by the two women who are trying yet again to get him interested.
Is there like a lamppost or anything nearby?
There's a couple of oil lamps sort of strategically placed to show light into the town, but that's about it.
Okay. I'm just gonna try to climb those and be like, go away. Stop it. It's like if I get away, shoot.
As you approach, one of them is quite obviously flashing him.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
Thank you. You can stop that. It's not necessary. I haven't. Where are you from?
You hear them go, and they start walking away.
It's no kind of manners if I've ever seen them. Okay.
Feeling better?
Obviously,
I mean-
they don't have etiquette +1.
No, they do not.
Hey, Blaine,
Perceptive, Rutherford.
Oh, sorry. What's up?
Oh, I was just saying it's very perceptive, Rutherford.
Thank you, Belay. We heard some information about the temple, the pilgrimage, some bad fish, things like that.
Okay, yeah, let's go check it out. Anywhere other than this general vicinity, apparently.
Is it too late to go to temple?
No, you can go to the temple. You get to the top of the sort of set of stairs outside the temple, and in front of you there's like a very flat, like stone floor, and there are a couple of pews on either side, and at the front at the end there's this, it looks like a statue of, either it's a really large statue of a dwarf, or it's a normal sized man that's so fat it's surprising that he could even walk with how rotund he was effectively. And in front of the statue on his knees praying is a priest. What do you want to
Sounds-
do?
Take a few minutes to talk with this priest if he's around.
Okay. Are you just going to like sort of introduce yourself from afar? Are you going to walk up and like tap him on the shoulder? What are you going to do?
I growl. not like an alarming growl, just like kind of like, hey buddy, growl.
Okay.
Based on what we've heard before, what would be the etiquette would be?
You could probably just introduce yourself from as you're walking towards him, I suppose. So, as you're walking towards him, you make a sort of noise, and he turns around and he goes, "Ah, friends, welcome to the Temple of St. Randolph. I see you've come on pilgrimage and you've brought your dog. That's not a dog, that's a bear.
I am, yes.
A talking bear.
Oh yes, I'm very well spoken.
Are you hexed, dear sir?
Me? Am I X? No, I'm fine. I'm good. I got a little sick at the inn from the gluten. It's fine. Everything's good.
Oh, so you were born a talking bear?
Oh yes, my mother, she taught me how to talk. Yeah.
Oh, well, this
Yes.
is a miracle of St. Randolph, isn't it? Well, yes, this is wonderful.
Well, I've been called a miracle before. I don't mean toot my own horn, though. You know.
Well, yes. Well, come, dear friends. You're obviously on the pilgrimage of St. Randolph, are you not?
So we have a bet going. Is it fat man or dwarf?
Oh, St. Randolph. St. Randolph was a man. He was a gigantic man, a towering, rotund man, and he was very large, but he was a man.
All right. Oh, I win, I guess. All right, good. All right. Well, yes, we are on pilgrimage. Take us to the end.
Good, and if you come on pilgrimage, you'll have brought supplies. Let us share them between us, as St. Randolph would have wanted, and have a feast of plenty.
We just ate.
Yes, I'm not feeling very good. I have upset tummy.
Oh, so you've not brought food?
Oh,
No.
I have some ball bearings.
Well, they're not really edible. I suppose you could suck one, but it wouldn't really be very nutritious.
Have you ever tried chalk?
Only when I need to bulk something out, dear child, or when I, he taps himself on the stomach, need to, clear out, shall we say.
Yeah,
Oh, gross.
we shall say.
Maybe your friend there with the upset stomach could do with some chalk.
Another time, yes.
You know what? And I patted my backpack. I realized I left some things back at the inn. I will be right back. And Diana's going to go back to the inn and buy some supplies. Simple, realizing what we need. So she's going to get like a takeout order from the inn.
Okay.
Temple.
So you arrive shortly back to the temple. Well, you take it order and he goes, "Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let us sit at the table and enjoy this feast." And he he sets the food down on the table, and he goes to the back of the room and he brings out a very small bowl of porridge and he sets it down and says, "There we go. I have contributed as well, my friends. Let us enjoy this feast. Tell me, what have you brought me?"
It's whatever the not stew option was from the inn, because I don't want to have a repeat of what happened to Rutherford.
Oh, you brought the fish. Oh, well, be careful eating that, you know. Did they tell you about it?
No.
Only
No.
passing things. I wasn't.
Oh, right, okay, well, they just seem to want to get our town a bad reputation. What you need to do is not eat anything apart from the head and the tail, because all the meat seems to be, well, it's got worms, shall we say. We don't know exactly what's causing it, but it seems to be some sort of disease in the meat itself from the fish. But the tails are fine, they've been cooked, and the brain, for some reason, is very tasty, even though it's kind of revolting if you think about it, but it's still edible.
Mm-hmm.
When did this start?
Oh, about 7 months ago, I think. You see, our town was approached by this, well, I want to call her Bism, but I don't like harsh words. She came down from Eisenport and she told us that they wanted to make a canal, you see, between Eisenport and Limestock Bay and then down to here, you know, and to Lake Puddle, and then on to Missenden, where they would connect us all by this canal. And then we could send ships down, it would be faster for, you know, supplies and all that, but me and the other monk that used to be here, we didn't feel it was appropriate. You see, Lake Puddle has religious morals, I guess you would say. Maybe I don't really understand what I would call it, but we didn't feel that it should be tainted by other lakes, especially one that goes out to sea. I mean, Lake Puddle is famously a freshwater lake, not a salt lake. But these women came down and they said, we want to combine your lake with others, and we told the committee, no, we don't want that, and a few months after that, the lake seemed to go a bit, well, queer. And then the men came and they were very angry with me and the other priest. They told him that they didn't like it, that all the business was going to dry up now that the two of us had basically condemned the town to always be this useless village with this, what they called outdated pilgrimage, but they just didn't see the bigger picture, you know. But after they all left and the lake became as it is, and we've not had many visitors.
What happened to the other monk?
Oh, well, I came back one day from showing a couple of people the lake and trying to explain about where the mountain was, and when I came back, he'd been crushed to death under the statue of St. Randolph, which had fallen from the plinth here. Unfortunately, being life-size for St. Randolph, it crushed him immediately upon impact.
Oh,
Damn.
Dear God.
goodness.
It took quite a lot of us to get the statue off him, and even more of us to get it back on the plinth. I mean, we don't understand how it could have got knocked off. I mean, it weighs so much, but apparently St. Randolph moves in mysterious ways, and it seems that it was time for my noble brethren to be crushed to death under his weight.
You don't think it was a bit suspicious, huh?
It seems very suspicious, but there's no proof that anyone, no one man could move this statue. And he leans up and he shoves against the statue, and the statue just doesn't even begin to move. It's solid. No one man could get even close to get that moving on his own, so unless a group of them came and did it, but even then, I'm sure my noble brethren would have noticed a group of men trying to push a statue onto him.
Yes. How would they get them to stand still, you know?
Well, he was in the middle of prayer, you see. Well, we think that his legs were sort of snapped outwards in that sort of bent position, so we assume that he was in prayer.
Gross.
Okay. All right.
But let's not have that put you off, St. Randolph. St. Randolph himself has a lot of benefits to doing the pilgrimage, and you are all here on the pilgrimage, are you not? So let us not talk about death and that horrible side. Let us talk only of life and the future and St. Randolph's journey to the south, as you all are here to hear about, are you not?
Yes.
But we're heading north.
Oh. But I thought you'd came from the north and you're on pilgrimage.
Oh, God, no.
I might have lied a little bit.
Oh.
Just a little.
Rutherford, I think you originally came from the north, so it's like
That's true.
a reverse coming to.
So you've already been to the mountain of St. Randolph?
Yes, it's beautiful there.
Wonderful,
You did tell me
wonderful.
about that, Rutherford. That sounded amazing.
Did you see the statue of St. Vandalf we had placed upon the top of the mountain?
He's very large.
He was, yeah. It took us 5 months to get that statue up that mountain.
I could tell. It's very impressive.
And unlike
Very.
St. Vandalf himself, it actually made it to the top.
Yes, no, it was very beautiful. Great statue. Great time.
Good. I mean, St. Randolph himself was a wonderful man, but he did not understand that sometimes you needed to keep your supplies for climbing the mountain.
Yeah,
Apparently,
climbing.
according to the men that went with him, he had devoured their entire supplies by a third of the way up.
Oh.
And he was trapped, and he could not get down in time to eat anything else, and he unfortunately starved to death. But,
Now, slow down real quick, Mr. Priest, man. You said something about climbing. Is this St. Randolph down with climbing? What's up?
well, he went to climb the mountain, you see, and
Yeah?
when I was a young man back then, I just came from Missenden, and I met St. Randolph, and he was a wonderful man, and his final words to me were, "Fetch my lunch, I'm going to prove the bastard wrong." And although we have
Sounds like a
no
wicked
record of who
dude.
this bastard was, apparently St. Randolph was going to climb this mountain to prove him wrong, and that's an ambition that we can all get behind.
Yeah, it's like you could also make a metaphor out of just gotta climb the mountain, but not die.
Well,
Right.
I don't think he
Yes.
wanted to die on a mountain, but as I said, I don't think he was going to starve to death originally, but unfortunately,
If I died
he
climbing-
never learned portion sizes, I guess.
If I died climbing, I'd die happy. It's
But
fine.
you see, St. Randolph was a very pure man. He had no interest in the flesh of any kind, and although some people have dared, I guess, to claim that this is because of his rotund size, he couldn't, procreate, shall we say, for his, little person, was so minute that it wouldn't penetrate his layers of fat. But that's a silly way of looking at it. He was just a pure man and didn't engage in the sex, as it were.
I don't know how to spell.
You said fornication.
Oh, I get it. All right, cool. No, that's a poor man. I mean, what a holy.
His mind was on other things.
So, his fish problem sounds perplexing.
Well, you see, we're not really sure what to do about it. We used to be this relatively, not wealthy, but mildly well-off fishing village, and for all my years it never seemed to be a problem for the fish to come, but now, I mean, you look down, and he gestures out the sort of back of the temple where you just see this lake that's got this sort of, even in the moonlight, it's got this brownish tint to it. You look at it now, it seems unwell, but the last man who came to look at it seemed to journey further north and told us that he would find the source of the corruption, and he never came back.
What? He talks of corruption.
Well,
Like,
he told
what
us
type
that
of corruption?
evil was afoot and he needed to explore the evil, and the last we heard, I mean, when we sent a couple of people north, they told us he'd left Limestock Bay and was on his way to Eisenport, but he never seemed to make it to Eisenport. I don't know what happened to the man. For none of those we sent to Eisenport to ask questions or met with anything other than we've never heard of him. So maybe he got sidetracked, maybe there were bandits on the road or something, I don't know.
This goes back to Eisenport.
Yes, the road north leads to Eisenport and
All
well, it
roads
goes
lead to
past
Eisen.
Limestock Bay, but
But I mean, all the reports of trouble that we've heard while we're on the road.
Yes.
Well, maybe we should go check out the lake. See if we can understand what type of problem is happening with it. Like,
well, my friends, if you do find anything, please let us know. I mean, we'd love to have our old lake back. I mean, if nothing else, it used to be our source of food. Now we've got to import all our food from elsewhere, and it's kind of costly. Not many of us are used to living on potatoes, if you know what I mean.
yes, oh God. Don't talk about potatoes. All right, should we go check out lake and just see if we understand, can examine the source of this problem?
I don't know what we'll be able to find out, but we can try.
Yeah, I'm down to go check it out.
Sure.
Okay. So you say your goodbyes and you head down the temple and you walk round the back of the temple effectively, and you just stand on the edge of this lake. And in the moonlight you can see, again, there's a sort of brownish tint to the top of the water. And when you look down, the fish seems sluggish, as in even when you sort of wave your hand over the top of the water, the fish take a couple of seconds to register that anything's there before moving away, and when they do move away, they don't move away that quickly.
I'm just gonna try to grab one with my hand.
Okay, roll. Yep, you just dive your hand in, grab a fish and pull it out, and it seems even a couple of seconds after you pull it out, the fish reacts and sort of very meekly fights and then gives up after about 3 or 4 seconds. Looking at your arm seems to be covered from your elbow to your hands in this like brown black film.
Oh, gross.
Ew.
Not good.
That can't be healthy.
I need to like wash this off. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, don't do it in the lake.
Well, no. Okay, I can take care of this in a moment.
Does anyone, not me, but does anyone, can we do some sort of check on this to see what the nature of it is?
Yep, do a nature check.
Nature check.
I do have a nature check. All right, I will take a look.
I'm not super skilled in it, but I'll give it a shot. Let's see. City gal.
Is
God damn it!
is not great, but let's see. No.
Okay, so you all kind of go, there's something wrong with this lake. Can't work out what it is.
Yes.
Wait, it's brown. It must be sewage. There's no other way about it. It must just be sewage.
Come back in the morning when we can actually see better. We'll probably get a better idea.
True.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yes.
I mean, we're tired.
Mm-hmm.
It's late.
You return to the inn. Are you all going to just get a room together? Or are you going to try and get separate rooms or what?
I snore real loud. I'm just going to say that right now.
I am getting a room. I don't care who shares it with me as long as it's not a snoring Rutherford.
Damn it.
Yeah, I don't care. Let's save some money.
Yeah.
One cup.
The barmaid sees Belly approaching and goes, You still owe me money for that food.
No.
No. Hold on. We discussed this. 2 of us got extremely ill. We can spread around some bad advertisement for this place.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, if
really?
you didn't
And
notice,
where else are they going to go? There's nowhere but the temple.
Well, we were at the temple. That guy's got porridge, man.
pretty good
It was-
porridge.
It's decent porridge. Did not make me vomit.
And I got new pants. They look the same color because I have a style I like.
He knows what he likes.
While this is going on, I say, so do you want to share a room with me? Because I'm distancing myself from these two right now.
Sure.
I have a feeling they might get thrown out before the night is over.
I just start walking up the stairs and just like pick a room.
Yeah, I think avoiding Rutherford snoring might do me a good for the night.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You sort of all bed down for the night, including the middle of the night. You all get woken by, and you can just hear this bear snoring as you notice the barmaid, trying to like break into his room with a like broom to get rid of him, but she can't seem to get into the room.
Yes, I have set many traps.
The next morning, you all come down, you start getting basic food, and then Rutherford appears. He seems to have somehow managed to put a chair against his door so no one could get in.
Yes, no one expects a chair by the door.
So you all eat.
Oh my gosh.
You all eat basic food for breakfast that you can manage. The barmaid looks very annoyed at Rutherford because she didn't seem to sleep well because of his snoring.
It runs in my family. God damn it.
So once you have eaten, you walk outside. You see Julian beginning to attach Flash to the cart. You've probably got about maybe 10-20 minutes before he rings the bell to leave.
Oh, damn it. We have no time.
Are you
Well,
wanting to do anything, or are you wanting to just get on the car and wait?
well, regardless of what's happening in the lake, we know it's coming from Eisen.
Yeah, I mean, but all the answers are going to lead us there anyway. We might as well just get on the road.
Yeah, let's get a move on.
Do I still have that junk on my arm?
Although you've like scrubbed it off overnight, you look at your arm, there's still like bits of it just stuck to your skin that have dried in. It's slightly easier to remove now, bits of it have dried in, but it's...
Okay.
You still have the fish as well if you want to look at that.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, still have the fish. Just chill by the cart. Let's check out this fish. Anybody?
The fish seems to be very sick. As you look over, the whole body seems spotted.
Never seen spotted fish. That's very different.
Well, I'm not going to eat it.
Nobody should eat it.
I don't think so. Can we roll another nature check on it?
You can.
I think we can roll a nature check, yeah.
Oh, after last night, shoot.
Yeah, I got it last night.
Oh, sweet. Over 10.
So,
Hey.
you look at nature check of it, and it does seem to be very sick. It looks like it's gathered some sort of infection from the water.
Does anyone have Arcana or some sort of check you could do it to see the nature?
One of you has Arcana, and it's Talbot.
Yes, I certainly do. I can see if it's a magical poison instead of just waste in the lake, I guess. Let's find out.
Yes!
Your examination seems that this is not natural. There's something abnormal happening to this lake. It seems like something's been either added to the lake or is causing some problem. It's definitely not something that's occurred naturally, though.
Somebody's doing this either on purpose or on accident, but that might mean we can stop it.
A natural phenomena, just and the lake's drying up, or
It seems that although you thought it must have been sewage or something before, it seems like it's definitely not that. And you look at it and it looks like it could have been some sort of algae, but the algae seems to have been long since dead.
it seems like retaliation from what the priest had to say.
It also seems like they may have some sort of power that we don't understand. Pretty strong power, I would say, too, if they can mess up a whole lake like that.
If they're luring these men to work on a project, this gives us some idea of maybe what that project is or what it relates to.
Well,
That's a deep subject.
yes. Oh, we're going to Eisenport. Like, just be a little wary.
Julian sort of rings the bell and goes, "Right, off to Eisenport and Limestock Bay. Anyone else needs to go? Board now."
Julian, what did you eat here? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I always bring my own food. I
Very smart,
got a
man.
bad case of the runs before from the fish in there.
Yeah, talk to Belay about that one. Jeez.
Yep. Had him too. That's why I left.
So
I'm
you
leaving
all-
the fish on the ground.
So you all get back on the cart.
Front seat.
You all head off.
Shotgun.
You head off to the next town. After about a couple of hours of being on the cart, immediately you can smell in the air the smell of like mining and digging. And as you come over this sort of hill, you notice the sight of this next town, which stinks of fish. It absolutely reeks of dead fish.
Oh no.
The closer you get, the stronger the smell. And as you get really close, you see a very dilapidated bay saying, "Welcome to Limestock Bay."
Oh god.
As you pull into the town centre itself, you hear the cry of "Fish!" And you look and you see this like very dilapidated looking fishing market that seems to have like 15, 16 oldish looking women in like black cloaks who seem to be selling fish and just screeching that they're selling fish.
Belay is terrified and crawls off the top of the cart and hides.
Rutherford vomits.
Off the cart as it's going along.
Off the cart, yes.
As you pull into Limestock Bay, you notice that there's an inn at the other side of the fish market. And as you look towards where the road out of town, you see a gallows. And on the gallows, there seems to be swinging. There's a corpse that looks like it's been picked quite a lot by birds. And above the gallows body seemed to be a sign that says, "We don't abandon our gods." And the arm of the body that's
Okay.
swinging seems to have been pinned towards the north road out of town.
Damn.
As Julian stops, he just leans down to you and says, "It's alright, you won't be here long. I just need to give Flash a quick meal before we go." And he jumps down and attaches the nose bag onto Flash as you hear this rumble as 2 or 3 women run towards the cart going, "Buy my fish! Buy my fish! It's really fresh, I caught it this morning! Buy my fish!" And they hold this stinking fish towards the cart. And as you look at it, the eyes are like bulging, there's like white flakes around the gills, it looks so sick and spotted. and around the fins are like flaking and torn. It just looks completely ill. And as you look at one woman like literally holds an eel through the window of the cart going, "I've got an eel, you'll like eels, they're tasty, look at them. And she's waving it, and it looks sickly, it looks like it's barely holding together. She's waving it at you.
Can I snatch it and slap her in the face with it and say, "Get out, I don't want your stinky fish"?
You can if you want, roll.
Alright.
You
Don't think so.
grab the
That's-
fish to try and pull it off her. She yanks it back out of the cart, and you find yourself tumbling through the cart window.
Oh,
And
no.
you're lying outside, and she goes, "Why are you trying to steal my fish? You need to buy my fish. It's only a gold." And she's
No, I don't want your
almost
fish.
putting this eel on your face now.
I'm gonna crawl under the cart.
I want to see you eat it first.
I
You
eat
think-
this fish. I eat them every night.
Eat it right now, right in front of me. I want to.
You want me to eat my own fish?
Yes.
And you'll pay me? Is
Yeah,
this
I'll
some
pay.
kind of kink?
Yeah, well, you don't shame that. You know, yeah, I want to see you eat the fish. It's nothing. Yeah, I'll pay you.
She sort of looks at you quite confused and just takes a big bite out of the fish.
Yeah, good.
It's just the insides are stinking worse than. You just see her chewing it in front of you as this like purpley green colour is oozing out of this fish.
Oh.
See? It's fresh! Look! They're fresh guts. They cook up really nicely.
Yeah,
No,
I
thank
will
you.
do a hard pass on that one.
The nice woman for her fish, please make her stop.
If I pay you a gold, do you stop?
If you pay me a gold, you can have this fish.
I don't want the fish. The fish looks disgusting.
What do you mean it looks disgusting? My fish are very fresh.
I think we have differing opinions on what fresh means.
If you
what
want
did
me to leave, you buy my fish.
Alright, well, where did you get this fish?
I
What's
got
your
it from the lake. Where else do you get a fish from? They don't fly.
Well, it's...
The river,
Well, alright.
the sea, the ocean.
So, who are they hanging over there?
What?
In the gallows. In the gallows over there.
Oh,
I'll
that's
pay-
just some bint from up north. She doesn't matter. What matters now is you buy this fish.
Alright, I will pay you a gold if you put the fish down and just walk away.
She puts the fish on the ground and moves a couple of feet away and says, "Right, where's me gold?"
Here. I reach behind me. Rutherford reaches behind himself and doesn't. No one knows where. And he pulls out a gold piece and he gives it to her.
She snatches it off you and walks away. And as she walks away, you hear from like the fish, "Hang on! Why did she buy her fish? Her fish are horrible. They want mine instead." And this like rush of about 8 or 9 women start charging towards you, waving fish.
Oh, look what you've done.
I'm sorry, everyone. I hide.
You can sneak out the cart and go to the inn if you want.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything
Yes.
to get away from these women, please.
Yeah.
So the cart's being rocked, and as you notice the cart's being rocked, there seems to be a fight developing between the woman you just gave the coin to and another one who's yelling, "Why is your fish better than mine?" And then the response being, I got paid for my fish, that makes it better than yours. And then an actual fist fight and possibly a riot has just started.
Oh gosh.
I walk. I walk
Walking
past
away.
them. Hey, let's go to inn.
So you're standing outside the inn at the moment. There's a very moderate, attractive girl is standing outside. And as you get close, she goes, "Oh, whatever you want for 2 gold." And she tries to grin, and she's got about 2 teeth in her head.
Prices just keep going down the farther north we go, but that's...
You notice she begins to start unbuttoning her top, and she's got like, as she unbuttons one button, she's covered in what looks like a red sores underneath her top.
Oh dear.
No.
Oh no, you're okay. We're all good here.
I walk past just into the inn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She goes, "I'll even do a special rate for the bear."
No.
No.
You scratch me for 5 gold. I'll
Oh,
scratch
you
as
pay me
want.
5 gold to scratch you? Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
No. You pay me. This is how the deal works.
I haven't seen 5 gold in several years.
I'm gonna step back out and be like, Rutherford, don't let her scratch you.
Yeah, I don't want that. Yes, I get yes. Yes, Belay, you're correct. Let's go into inn.
Yeah.
Okay. You walk into the inn. The barmaid that's there again looks like the rest of Fishmouth, which is like quite red-faced but blotchy, like obviously like very hard-working, but can't really move very well from all the years of hard work anymore. Like it's taken a serious toll on her body. And you hear this. So what do you want?
Not fish.
What's wrong with the fish? The fish are lovely.
Oh, God.
Actually, just something to drink would be really nice right about now.
We've got fish gin. It's made with real fish.
Do the dwarfs take it with a limestone here?
Well, all of our sort of tankards are made of limestone, if that makes a difference.
There you go.
If you want to buy one of them, they're 3 gold each.
The dwarves?
No, the limestone.
Alright.
If you want company while you're here. And she sort of waves outside at the girl and says, she'll do you whatever you want. Just you ask her.
You're talking about Two-Tooth Tilda?
Well, her name's Denise, but yeah.
Okay. No.
Go on, a nice man like you. It's been a long time since you've seen a woman. You can do what you like with her.
I'm not sure what you mean by that statement, but you know.
Well, you know.
All right.
Men, you know. You're on your way to meet your dream woman. Why not enjoy the stag night, I guess?
You know, I mean, it's more about the I don't know.
Her and
No, Belay just looks like sheepish and is just like blushing. It's kind of like, oh, okay.
Are you
Men
married
traveling?
then?
To fighting. I like a good fight.
So you're not married then?
No, not in the clerical definition.
Well, then
I guess.
Denise would be perfect for you then.
I don't know about that. It seems to be a little bit of a height difference. Not that you know.
She's
not,
used to being
it's just
on
not
her
my thing.
knees. Don't worry about that.
Well then, okay, if that's where you're going, then it'd have to be like on her hips.
Oh, well, she's used to walking around on all fours.
Yeah, I
You'll
know.
get
I
used to
walked
it.
into that one, didn't I?
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, do you have oatmeal?
What? We've got fish.
No, I don't want to be here anymore. Rutherford, make it stop.
Okay, tell me about the gallows. I'm not hungry either.
The what?
Who's hanging on the gallows?
Oh, that's just some woman from up north. It doesn't matter.
From up north, like Eisenport?
She spits when you say the name and say, that fucking devils. The devils up there. They come here taking our men. Then our men go, oh, they're gonna make so much money. And they come send us a letter saying, I've met my true love in the north. Savages. Whores, a lot of them.
That was one of the women from Eisenport?
She came here saying, oh, we want a canal. We want a canal. Apparently some tropped up tart down south wouldn't let her make a canal. Something about wanting to keep his lake pure. So we got the bitch end of it told, oh, you need to convince them. Do we? Fuck. They want to go down to that, wherever the fuck it's called, over Puddle down south. They can do it themselves. We're not going down there to beg them. We don't beg anyone. You've already taken our husbands. You can go beg yourself.
Wanted you to do their dirty work.
They didn't want them to cause a scene. They thought we'd might have more leverage telling them how desperate a canal would solve all our problems. Yes, right, our husbands' bodies are gonna ride back down from Eisenport. Of course they are.
She been up in the gallows there.
Well, she wouldn't take no for an answer. She came back 4 different times to tell us to just do better. Bitch, she can swing. We don't care about their gods. We don't care about their motives. We want them to just fuck off and die.
What gods are they talking about?
Oh, some watery bint that lives beyond the sea or something like that.
Alright, well, I'm not super hungry. Maybe we could go examine the body to see who we're dealing with here.
True. Yeah, we could do that.
Out of curiosity, just one last thing. Gallows, did anything change here in the town?
What do you mean?
I mean, did anything get worse? Did anybody from Eisenport kind of retaliate? Did anybody else come and cause trouble?
Well, the water became a bit darker, but that's just in the year. The fish are still good. They're just easier to catch now.
Oh, so you have the same problem as Puddle Place. Yeah.
We're better off. They're useless at catching fish. We catch loads.
Well, that's good to know. So, okay, thank you.
Okay, so you
Hell.
leave the inn. What do you want to do?
It was just an idea. We don't have to look at,
I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea, Rutherford. What if there's like certain things that they have on them that like identifies them? Could really help us out.
Yes.
You tell us something about what gods they're talking about?
Yeah, some watery god.
Some water god.
So you walk round to the gallows as you hear Julian start ringing the bell to say that it's time to leave Limestock Bay. So you can have a quick look at the gallows if you want.
Okay, we'll take a quick look.
You just wanted like a perception roll?
Yep.
Then we gotta get going.
Meh.
These rolls were so good. These are not so good.
Okay, most of you looking over don't seem to find much. Apart from Talbot, he sort of leans up and he touches the girl
Girls, don't
skeleton's ear.
touch her.
And he finds a set of very beautiful gold earrings that he just takes off the corpse. And he looking at them, he turns them over in his hand, and on the back they say Eleanor.
Now, if they really hated this woman, why wouldn't they take her jewelry? But if it is a woman from up north, maybe we can use this to get some information.
I can pretend to be Eleanor.
You would be Dashing, yes.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
You just say, I'm Eleanor. I got turned into a bear.
I am Eleanor, your bear friend.
Enjoy my
ear. I'll put the earrings on.
We can definitely sell this.
A bear with
Toss
earrings
them over
on,
to
yep.
Rutherford.
Here we go. You can all call me Eleanor from. I will respond only to Eleanor from.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll believe it, but I'm entertained.
All right. Well, either way, it's an idea. It's just an idea.
Okay.
We'll put it on Plan B. It's a solid Plan C.
Okay. So
Plan B for bear.
You return to the cart, and as you begin to leave, you look out the side of the cart and you see that behind the inn, the fish seem to be like floating dead on the water, and these women seem to be like scooping them up, cutting little bits off and throwing them into a bag.
Oh. Rutherford vomits for the fourth time.
You mean Eleanor vomits for the first time?
Yes, you're right.
So, you continue along the road for another 2 or 3 hours, and eventually, as it's just getting into very early evening, so about 6 o'clock-ish, you go over a hill and you're immediately taken in by this beautiful town. Like, all the buildings look immaculate. They look like they've been well done masonry-wise, very well done, like finely. All the sort of architecture is done very fine and beautiful, and as you sort of ride into the town, everything seems so much different from every town you've seen on the way up. There's like barely any signs of like poverty here compared to every other town you've been through. And as you come in, you see that there's this beautifully large temple in the middle of the town, and there's like a sort of road that sort of spirals downwards to the side, and on that road there seems to be a jailhouse, a schoolhouse, 2 different inns, one of which seems to be called the Stork, the other one seems to be called the Braggard's Rest. At the bottom of the sort of like road going downwards, you see a stall. Looks like it has jewellery on it, with a very bolshy looking orange dwarf, like really gingery hair dwarf. And then there's the docks. And as you arrive into this town, you arrive next to this fountain, and sitting next to the fountain are 3 or 4 middle-aged looking girls, but they're all, again, covered in this beautifully crafted golden jewellery, like all down their arms, they're like all over their hands, their arms, their neck, their shoulders, as this like almost river of gold across all of them. And as your cart pulls up, you also notice that there are maybe about a fifth of the women in town seem to be pregnant.
I see the men have been busy.
From looking around, you see no men at all in this village. The cart pulls up and Julian climbs off and says, "Right, well, I'll be taking Flash to go and rest for a day, and then we leave the morning after next, if you're wanting to come back." And he takes the horse away.
Right.
Okay. Well, it gives us a little time to go and ask about Dorian.
Yeah. We could maybe start with the Anders, maker of that gold, those good fineries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let's do that thing.
All right.
So you walk down towards the jewellery stall, and as you walk down, you notice that all the men seem to get a lot of attention from all the women, whereas Diana seems to be getting almost completely ignored. It's like the women don't seem to see that she's there.
Because that just gives me more ability to scrutinize what's going on. So I'm paying very close attention to the interactions.
Okay, so you arrive at the stall, and as you arrive, you hear this very thick dwarf accent saying, "No, no love that, no love that, don't do that, don't love that. If I tell you nothing, you don't understand what you're doing. Don't do it like that, nothing, no, you're wasting gold, don't do it like that." And he seems to be taking it off a woman and like bending the gold in front of her, then throwing it back and saying, "Don't do it like that, I've told you enough times, you're just gonna waste gold." And he hobbles back to another group of people, and at this point you realise that he's got a crutch and his left leg looks completely mangled. It looks like it's barely just bone, nothing else there.
Ugh.
So actually inside now?
You're basically standing at this stall. It's like a very simple stall, but the other side of the stall, the sort of internal stall, there seems to be two groups of three women, all working on very intrinsic gold, while Anders is sort of hobbling back between the two of them.
I speak Dwarven, so I'll say hello in Dwarven. Get his attention.
He turns to you and goes, "Ah, well met, brother. Or sister in this case. How are you? I'm Anders."
Out of Dwarven. I'm quite well. How are you today?
"Oh, well, I could always complain, but eventually these bitches will understand how to do gold properly, but, you know, the matriarch wants me to try and expand a bit faster, so doing what I can. What brings a fellow dwarf speaker to Eisenport then?"
A little bit of business, maybe?
"Oh, aye. Such as?"
First of all, I have to say this is beautiful, beautiful workmanship that you do.
"Ah, thank you. You know, proper dwarven craftsmanship done properly."
A friend of ours sent some relative up here to investigate this place as maybe a potential place to do some trade. I think you knew him.
Are you still talking in Dwarvish at this point?
I'd switch, but I'm going to switch back to Dwarven now.
Okay. He goes, "Ah, right. Nope. I don't recognize him. What was his name?"
His name was Dorian. Don't hold it against him, but, you know, young guy for an elf.
"Dorian. No, it doesn't seem to ring any bells with me, I'm afraid.
Really? Huh.
As far as I'm
That's
aware, I've not met a Dorian. Don't
Huh.
leave a lasting impression if that's what you're asking."
And I switch back and I turn to my companions, see how they're doing.
Okay.
Anders, real quick, you seem to know everyone in town. You know, I'm sure you've worked with, being the goldsmith here, a lot of people. Do you know, would there be a woman here named Melia?
Melia, well, there's been a lot of women here, but they don't talk to me. I'm the, stinking old dwarf. They don't talk to me. Especially with my leg. And he gestures his leg and he goes, "They don't talk to me. I'm
Okay.
just here to craft. They don't really want to speak to me. Unless they've got a bit of gold. Then they come by and they go, 'Oh, Anders, I want you to make me a clasp.' And I go, 'Oh, great.' I make them a clasp.
Okay. What happened to your leg?
I was mauled by a sea leviathan.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Last thing I
Dang.
remember, I leapt out the boat, axe in hand, swinging. I remember feeling it bite down on my leg and I dropped my axe. Then everything went dark. Then I woke up in this town. Apparently someone had found me off the coast. If it hadn't been for the hospitality, I'd be dead by now.
Well, I mean, if you need an axe, I have an axe. And I hand him the axe that I got off of Daniel.
He sort of turns it over in his hand and goes, "This is kind of shoddy if you don't mind me saying so. It's not like a true dwarven axe. This would
Beggars
crack
can't
if you
be
hit it into
choosers.
stone."
I know it's not your axe, but it is an axe.
True. Well, what do you want for it?
The matriarch is the one that's telling you to hurry up business, right?
Aye.
So maybe you could get us a meeting with the matriarch for the axe. I know it doesn't seem like a lot,
Well, she'll be up at the school this time of night. She likes to sort of join in the festivities, as it were, of reciting that prayer they all do.
but okay. I think that's fair trade.
He again sort of
Outside.
looks over the axe, then seems to attach it to his belt.
And my name is Eleanor, the bear. And these beautiful earrings have my name on them. They look familiar to you.
He looks at you quite confused. A bear's walked up to him and said he's got a pair of earrings on, but he goes, I crafted them. Where did you get them from?
It's a good question.
I remember crafting for a bear. Where'd you get them from?
Alright, well, I didn't think my story through this far. Alright, you got me. I am not really Eleanor. These are not my earrings. I found them on someone named Eleanor. And just wondering if you made them, and it sounds like you did.
I made them for her.
Alright.
Did you steal them? Did you kill her? What did you do to get those? But very careful about giving pieces like that to just anyone, you know.
She was in a bit of a compromised position, and she's dead.
Oh, I
didn't
Was
kill
that
her.
your fault? Did you maul her?
No, she was hanging from some rope.
Fortunately, met a bad end in another town that we came through. Here.
He looks slightly like he's really unsure of you now. Now you've mentioned that you've got someone's earrings that he made.
Darn it. Well, I'll throw these in if we can get that meat.
No, but we were hoping to at least enclosure to her next of kin while we were here.
Good
She
one.
won't have next of kin unless she's got a door. And if she does, you're probably not a bit as good giving it to her yourself. You'll be assumed to be killers if you do, but if you give them to me now, I will try to make sure they go to the appropriate hands, or I'll re-smelt them for someone else. But I wouldn't advise you to tell anyone else that you met someone outside the town. You're not
Good
crafters, are you?
No.
Good. And he sort of gives you a very awkward stare as he takes the earrings off you.
Alright. Well, those... I tried. Okay. Well, it's very nice earrings, thank you.
Condolences about Eleanor.
He sort of nods and he's still not really sure what to make of you. So, what are you doing now?
I'm like, well, that could have gone better.
I'm sorry, I screwed everything up.
So it's okay. It's okay.
I'm a bad bear. Bad bear.
No, Rutherford.
Yes, you know, it's true.
You're
No,
a good
Rutherford.
bear. It's just hard to explain sometimes, you know, how it looks to other
We
people.
got the information we wanted. I think we have a direction to go. So, we can go to the school.
All
We
right.
saw that on our
And,
way in. We know the matriarch's going to be there.
And I
Yes.
asked him, is the name Dorian at all? He didn't know who I was talking about.
Yeah, I don't believe him for a second. You'd probably remember an elf.
That's what I thought. But again, if there's something magical going on that maybe is affecting a person's memory,
We should have asked where all the gold is coming from. Maybe the limestone mines, but that would be limestone.
something to consider. If there's other magic going on, maybe that's part of it.
Well, I'm gonna vote we should head to the school. Go right to the top. Unless we want to look around more and ask more questions somewhere. I mean, maybe we could search for Melia. That might be that we go to who the sun wrote about.
Well, I think if we go to the top, though, then she doesn't have any answers for it. She'll hopefully know where to find some of these other people. And if Melia is at the top, then win-win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, okay.
And here's the truth that seems to be totally ignored by everybody in this town. Paying a lot of attention. How much are we going to be able to poke around this place before we generate a whole lot of ruckus?
I already
To the
screwed
top.
up pretty bad, yes.
No, it's not that. It's sun comes into this town. It seems to generate a lot of focus because I'm just another woman. But they care about you everywhere you go.
What if we dressed up as women then?
I like this idea.
I don't foresee goodness coming out of this.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, you could try, but I think it's more efficient to just go to the top.
Right on. I guess it should have been something that we did from the get-go.
We could have dressed
Right.
like women since we started.
I mean,
At
I'm not
least-
opposed to it. But
I have a feeling if there is some magic going on, that they would be able to see through the disguise anyway.
that's a very good point.
True.
Very pregnant women here, reproduction seems to be a very high priority.
Okay. Yeah.
If we didn't do that right at the beginning. Any of you brought disguise kits? I know I didn't.
No.
No,
So,
I've just got a hammer and a bunch of nails.
I have ball bearings.
Yeah.
let's just go talk.
Let's go to the school.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe I'll finally learn to read.
As you head up and walk towards the school, you hear it seems to be like a sort of group of people reciting something. And as you get close enough to hear the end of it, there's a lady wearing a bracer and lots of jewelry, like more than anyone else jewelry, leading what seems to be a group of between 4 and 17-year-olds in this evening prayer. And the only lines you catch are the lines, "Shield us from the great cold one and the deep below. Speak to us in dreams and intercede in our days, that we may know your glory and grace. Blessed be."
Would any of us be able to make a religion check to see if that rings a bell?
You can try.
I'll make a lore check.
Yep, lore check would be another one. 19.
21.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
Nice one.
Talbot for the win.
Talbot has heard talk of this. It seems that he heard this in passing, that there's this seaside town that believes that there is a mother figure that lives beyond the waves, and there is also their equivalent of a devil in their religion is this, what they refer to as the Great Cold One, which is like a creature that lives at the bottom of the sea that drags the sort of evil and wicked down to the cold depths below.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit more scary than I thought. Yeah.
So as you're sort of debating this, everyone sort of disperses and the woman turns round and looks at you all and says, "Ah, you seem new to this town. Have I met you before? I'm sorry, my memory is not very good."
I am Rutherford, a bear.
"Well, I would recognize you, but I did not expect you to talk to me."
No one does.
You're perplexing, my child. I'm not sure what to say to you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I have no idea.
Are you a pet of one of these people? Are you?
I am not.
Hexed? Are you, what?
I am not hexed. Why does everyone ask me if I'm hexed?
Well,
Not hexed.
Forgive me,
not
but
a pet.
I have never met a talking bear before.
Well, welcome. So are you the matriarch?
I am indeed, yes, my child.
So, where's Dorian? Let's cut to the chase, you see?
Yeah.
Who is this Dorian you're referring to? I've never met a Dorian.
He came here a while back and disappeared. No one knows what happened.
Well, did he have a last name? Did he have anything particular I should know about him? I mean, many
whisper.
people come to our town, and as the matriarch, I'm usually the first person they want to speak to.
Yes, he had a last name. Dawn Whisper.
So his name was Dorian Dawnwhisper.
Pretty sure.
And maybe he called Edie around here. Maybe he left home and, got a nickname.
I'm afraid I've no remembrance of him. I mean, if I did speak to him, he left no lasting knowledge to me.
He had an audience with you. He was engaged to a young woman, he said.
Oh, he was going to marry one of my girls. Which girl was he going to marry?
Melia.
Melia, yes.
Melia?
Melia? I'm sorry, I've never met a Melia.
What?
That's not one of the names I'm familiar with. I mean, I know all my girls, and I've never heard of a Melia. If you wish to check the wedding book of those who have come and got married here, there's a book behind you in the school there, but I'm afraid we've not had marriages for a long time.
Place where you record engagement announcements?
Yes, we used to record them in the schoolyard here, but we unfortunately have not had any marriages or even engagements for a long time.
Why is that?
Oh, you see, my girls, they're victims. They come here, they work very hard, especially at the docks, and they help get all the fish prepared, but then these men appear, and instead of just focusing on getting the ships and all such ready, they seem to want to just spend time alone with my girls, and some of them just end up, well, deflowering, I guess, my girls, is the best phrase I can say without going any further than that. And I've told my girls over and over again, you can't just do that with a man. You need to have a proof that his intentions are pure, and those that don't listen are usually young. They assume that, they can tell them to stop or they can decide they've had enough, but many, unfortunately, end up impregnated, and then the men leave, they get on the ships that they build and go off to a new life and forget about my girls. And when they've done that, I mean, who is left to look after my poor girls but our own sort of small community? So what we have to do is I lecture my girls that they are not allowed to be alone with men unless they have at least a ring on their finger to prove love, but so many don't listen, sadly.
Diana's not sure if she's buying this woman's story. Can I do any sort of a roll to see if she's telling the truth?
You can roll a perception check. You completely believe her.
It seems plausible. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've heard of that happening, right?
I don't believe her either. Can I also perception?
You can perception, yeah.
God darn it.
You not only believe her, but you also are quite taken in by what she said. You're like, you know, you're almost on her side by saying that, oh, these bastard men turning up.
God, these stupid men. I like you.
Thank you, my small fuzzy friend. I appreciate your love.
Do you need a pet? Do you want to scratch my ears?
We'll always have room for your kind. I mean, I don't mean to pry, but are you a girl or are you not?
Oh, I am male bear, boy bear.
Right, okay. Well, there'll always be work for the men in this town.
Well, where are the men?
Oh, you see, our last contract was a shipping contract, and it expired a couple of months ago, and all the men that came up from it, they all decided that, you know, the employer offered a lot of gold for them to join him on the journey, to travel beyond the wave to this new land that apparently offered a lot more where the client was from. All we can do is hope that we get another contract soon, and eventually we'll get more men, but till then, I hope my girls will at least remain educated, and you know, when the men do come, I hope that they will at least respect the fact that they can't just fool around, or we will end up with so many girls impregnated that we won't know what to do.
What about the canal that y'all were having built? Or has that been built? Are y'all working on that? We heard about that on our travels up here.
We were going to build this canal all the way down to Missenden, so, you know, we could have a bigger trade. We could move all of our things we needed to, like forestry work and wood and, you know, limestone from Limestone Bay all the way up to us. So, you know, building those ships was easier rather than having to use the roads. But unfortunately, it seemed to have been halted because of some miscommunication with some group that said that the lake was religious of some degree. I'm sorry, if you want to speak to it more, you'll have to speak to our planner. She's around somewhere, but I don't know many more about it.
Well, okay, so they said that their lake is religious, and you follow a religion here?
Oh yes, my child. We worship she who waits beyond the waves.
Okay. So, I mean, like, we talked to them, and they didn't want your ocean in their lake, and vice versa. Well, it should be vice versa, you know, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to basically bring the ocean to them, right?
Well, we were going to connect them all together, you see. I mean, it would have given us a canal of trade all the way to the south, and if anything, it would have increased the value and the, you know, money that was flowing through all those towns. And if all we're asking is you adapt a small piece of lake into something a bit more substantial, then, well, what are your demands, if you know what I mean? We would have thought that injecting a little more money into these impoverished towns would have been far more desirable than, you know, let's keep a lake that I'm hearing from many other places is already infested with problems.
So, to the point of your religion, who in town could we talk to understand more about, what was it, the lady beyond the waves?
Oh, she who waits beyond the waves, yes.
She who waits beyond the waves, yeah.
Well, if you come back tomorrow during the day, we will have our classes during the day at school where we teach the children about how to do fishing and all about she who waits beyond the waves. Or, if you like, you can come speak to me myself in the temple and I will explain more.
I only have really one question, I guess. Maybe you could answer it, maybe not.
Yes,
what is she waiting for?
Oh, she waits beyond the waves, my child. She watches over us and she lets us live out our lives in peace and prosperity. She awaits us to come to her, but we have to have lived our lives and been devout to her our entire lives, and when we reach a certain age, we become fisherwomen, and we go out to her and we meet her upon the waves, and we come back with bountiful harvests. And once we are returned with our harvests, we sort of share them with all the women here. And then, after several years of being fisherwomen, we journey out to the waves, and we go to be with her beyond the waves, where we live a life of peace, prosperity, and happiness, for all our loved ones will be waiting for us there.
Even the guys?
I was going to say, is it only for the women?
Well, we don't really have much of a paternity on this side, I suppose. We do only deal with the maternity, but if, for example, you have sons or fathers and you wish them to be there, then I'm sure she who waits beyond the waves will be quite adaptive and be quite happy to hold their spirits for you there, waiting for you to arrive.
But they have to be already dead for her to hold their spirits for you.
Well, I don't want to use the word using, but if, for example, a child is still alive here, then its soul cannot transfer over to she who waits beyond the waves until it is fully done with it, I guess. For right now, do you feel you have a soul yourself? Do you feel that whatever religion you believe in has taken your soul already, and this mortal coil will soon just fade, but your soul will live on?
No, I'm pretty sure I've done something bad to someone, or,
Yes, Daniel.
Oh, so what you're saying is that should you perish around here, then you would not be worthy of she who waits beyond the waves, but instead you would incur the decision of the Great Cold One.
That's another...
Is that the same person?
No, the Great Cold One is the, let's call it the balance. The
antithesis.
Let me adapt another religion. The yin to she who waits beyond the waves, yang. It's the balance of good and evil. Those who are good and honest and trusting and believe in she who waits beyond the waves and devote their lives are taken away to peace and prosperity. Those who are evil and wicked and steal or hurt the girls, they are taken down to the cold, cold depths of the ocean. They don't get to bask in the sun. They don't get to see, for the darkness down there is so, so very dark that can't even see their own selves. And the cold, your body goes numb and you'll never feel again. It's horrible.
Is that where all the men went?
Yeah, that's a good question, Rutherford.
No,
Thank
my
you.
child. The men went aboard boats and they went to lands beyond.
What is this land beyond?
Why did you just do air quotes?
Yes. Good question, Billy.
We have a client arrives, usually a wealthy merchant from other such lands of these far-off lands, and says that they want to build boats and transport either our ships and our gold to elsewhere. So we hire the men arrive, they help build these beautiful ships, and then as they're finished, these men are offered further gold to continue on. And many of these men say, that is a fantastic deal, and may I move on with you? And the man, typically the man or woman who wishes to have the contract fulfilled tells them that yes, he would enjoy their work. And they climb aboard the ship, and they leave.
And where do they go?
Oh, my child, my duty is here with my girls. I have never been interested in beyond the waves, apart from, of course, my own religious beliefs.
Is there you said there's a planner.
Yes.
Is there like a port authority, somebody who is in charge of keeping track of which ships come in and out?
Oh, I'm not sure. If you go down to the docks in the morning, you'll find all the girls coming in that do the fishing. One of them may know. I only really deal with it when any problems I need to resolve, but
okay.
Usually there's nothing else. The girls are very resourceful. They usually deal it amongst themselves, and usually posts are passed between those who are passing and those who are new to the fishing side.
It's where we can find some of the answers that we're looking for before we move on.
Yes.
Just enlightening.
Yes, my child. She who waits beyond the waves is very enlightening. Once you feel her spirit inside you, it's a beautiful thing. It makes you happy and feel that there's a place you belong in the world.
Matriarch?
Matriarch, dear. Thank you.
Oh, I thought you were the mayor.
Well, some people seem to think, we need titles, but I'm just content just being the matriarch.
Okay. But to believe in one is to believe in the other. And if you believe in both, the cold one, and she who waits beyond the waves. Who do you fear more?
Well, you see that you don't need to fear when you believe in she who waits beyond the waves. I mean, the Great Cold One is not a corrupter. It's like karma. If you misbehave or, basically become a horrible person, then the Great Cold One will know. And when your time of judgment comes and you journey out to the waves to meet she who waits beyond the waves, the Great Cold One will rise and take you with him down to the depths. Whereas if you are pure of spirit and pure of heart and have repented against all of your sins, then she who waits beyond the waves will greet you with open arms and take you. You don't need to fear. You just need to be devout, my child.
Are there people who follow the Great Cold One? Do like choose to? Not just like, oops, I did something bad.
One or two of our girls have recently began to believe in him and say that maybe he is the way, but if anything, I would describe those as masochistic. I mean, why would you believe in something that would drag you down to eternal punishment? I mean, in my eyes, that seems slightly futile, but each to their own. We don't enforce our girls to believe, we just ask them to follow what we guide, but if they want to go their own way, so be it.
Where do these Satanists hang out?
This is a Satanist, my child.
Sorry, my bad. So, where are these girls that worship the Cold One?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to ask around the docks, I think, again. There's some of them used to hang around there. One or two of them especially used to be fisherwomen, and I just don't understand. I mean, maybe they saw something upon the sea when they were out one day, but it seems a tragic loss of life, if you ask me.
All right. Well, that's fun. It's been fun hanging out with you.
I'm glad, my fuzzy child, that you have come to embrace our religion as well.
I like it when you call me fuzzy.
I hope you enjoy our hospitality.
Yes, I look forward to building a boat and sailing it.
Good, my child. Hopefully we will have a contract soon. I mean, it is coming up for the Eve of Waxen any day now, and when that comes, afterwards we will definitely need men.
Yes. I actually had the question. So have any of these recently impregnated women, have they had children?
Most of the girls you see now, there's one or two of them I'm sure that are probably due soon, but you'd have to speak to one of our girls that works at the jailhouse. I mean, she's the one that deals a lot with the maternity side.
The jailhouse? Are there... Okay.
Well, you see that it's the only place we have that is guaranteed to have a bed.
Interesting.
Apart from our own homes, of course, but they are seen as individual, of course. But in public, if one of the girls is indeed pregnant and feels herself getting close to her bringing another life into the world, she may turn to the jailer and say, I think it is my time, and she'll be made comfortable.
And then what?
Well, then usually the child is born.
Oh, so are there children in this town?
Oh yes, my child, there are many children. There are lots of young girls from... She gestures towards the school. I mean, we have many here from... Well, they are taken home till the age of around 4, and then they are brought back, and they are educated, especially in the ways of fishing from a young age.
The male children.
The what, dear?
The male children. The boys.
I'm sorry, my dear, we never had a male child. All my girls seem to only give birth to girls, and we take it as a blessing from she who waits beyond the waves. We have never, I don't want to say cursed, because curse is a harsh word that I should not use, but we've never been cursed, as it were, with a male child. It has always been female, and we take it as a reflection of the love of she who waits beyond the waves for our community.
Well, you said we should talk to the planner about the whole recruiting guys thing.
Yes.
The canal.
The planner, she should be around here. Come back tomorrow, as I said. You should meet her and listen to her lecture. She will talk to you all about she who waits beyond the waves if you wish more information. But
is that going to talk about the recruiting guys thing?
Oh, no, we don't share that with children. I mean, that would be far too cruel. I mean, children should not have to understand the mean side of recruiting for financial gain. I mean, that'll just poison the mind of any small child.
I think that's like business 101.
Yes, but it teaches greed. Greed is not a good thing. Assuming that you're not going to do it a deed for a friend, for the sake of being friends, but instead you wish financial gain, or any kind of gain, making your time worthwhile just because you feel you should have more than that one person. It's not something I want to share with my girls. I want my girls to grow up thinking that the world is a horrible place, but this community works together, and should they need someone, they say, I need this, and someone will do it for them, for the simple and distinct fact that, helping each other is how we get along as a community.
But the world out there isn't a terrible place. You're lying to them.
I'm not lying to my girls. The world out there is a terrible place. It is full of rape and murder. There's none of that here.
Insight check?
Sure.
No.
You're looking perception at her, and from what she's telling you, she completely believes it.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to be lying to you.
You've managed to create a utopia here.
We would never say utopia, for utopia is perfection, and perfection could only exist once we have passed on.
Of course. But by comparison,
by comparison to the filthy, disgusting world out there where people will only help each other if a coin is on the line, then we are indeed something more righteous.
Oh yes. We didn't ask, where do you get all your gold?
Oh, this is the thing. We worship she who waits beyond the waves, and there is a mine in the sea. And I know this sounds strange to those who are not of our beliefs, but when we put the nets down to catch the fish, we cast it upon the ground, and when we hook the nets back up, they are very fine nets. They bring with them gold along with the fish. It's a very strange thing to explain to an outsider, but this has been the way for many generations now, and we take it as a blessing from she who waits beyond the waves.
Tangible blessing.
Yeah. If
I know it seems like our society is extravagant with all our what look like wealth to you, but to us it's a sign of solidarity. It's a sign that greed will not be something that will exist in our world. We might have this, what looks like a fortune to other people, but we will never exploit each other for it.
But what about sharing it? I mean, you got so much. Those towns further south, if you just, gave them good
faith with the towns further south. I mean, you see
just
what
gave
happened
them
with
gold?
the canal system. I mean, they told us that, their religion seems to matter more than their coin, so as someone who has our religion matters too.
Well, I mean, if you gave them the coin, they could expand their town to where you could divert the canal to not touch their lake. You could meet them halfway.
Dear child, if you give a starving man gold, they throw it on cheap things straight away. They don't understand the concept of saving together and working together. It'll just be the same as us saying, we will help you, and we will give you coin, but then all they'll do is just expect us to keep giving them coin.
Then build it for them and tax them.
My child, taxes are evil. I don't tax my girls, and we will never tax anyone.
All right.
Taxes promote greed, and greed is something we have managed to avoid a lot of in this town, and despite some of us, as like myself, and she flicks her hair back and there's literally this cascade of very finely netted gold, like all the way down to her neck. As some of us have lots and lots of gold, I mean, that could easily create envy, but a lot of the younger girls, they look at us with admiration. They too wish to be able to work hard and earn hard, and they too will eventually have all of this finery for themselves without fear that some of us will not earn as much as others. For all of them will earn it in time as long as they approach the world and treat each other with respect and dignity.
So then rather have them be greedy, you would rather them be envious?
Well, I think it depends, dear child, which sin you feel is worse. And envy is something I know a lot of outside villagers look to our poor little town, and they feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Diana's working on a theory, but it's not going to get anywhere by continuing to talk with the matriarch, so she's going to, sit on it for now. She's definitely thinking some things, so...
Okay. Well, at this point the matriarch says to you, "But I'm afraid, my child, it is getting late in the day, and I am needed in the temple. But please, there are 2 inns here. One of them I'm sure will suit your needs, whatever you require. But for now I am needed. Thank you very much, and I hope to speak to you tomorrow furtherly about all your questions, and if I may help you more in your investigation to find this Darren.
Dorian.
Dorian.
You didn't say it right, Rutherford. What's up?
Sorry, this is
You
so...
barely got it.
Barely.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So,
man.
The matriarch gently bows to you and then walks up towards the temple as you all kind of stand outside the inn. Are you going in to get rooms? Are you going to get sorted? Or are you going to discuss things first?
I don't think we've successfully had the meal this entire trip. At least
No.
not me.
Me either.
Or Belay,
Yeah.
yes. I think we should get some food.
We really need food.
Which inn are you going to? Are you going to the Stork or the Braggart's Rest?
Vote on Braggart.
Sure, yes.
That sounds appropriate.
They
Sounds
both look
good.
good to me. Let's go.
Okay.
Yum, yum.
You walk into the Braggart's Rest. Immediately after you walk in, the sort of barmaid that's there goes, "Oh, men are here, men are here!" And they walk up, and there's about a group of like 6 or 7 girls immediately start fussing over Talbot and Bailey, and even Rutherford. They sort of like journey all 3 of you, and they're like massaging you and offering you food and saying, "What do you want? What would you like? What delicacies can we offer you?" They are completely ignoring Diana.
Well,
Whatever.
she's super nice.
Basically,
You
anything
know-
you ask for, they bring you, and they just bring in front of you, and they're very much like, "Whatever you want, whatever we can get you, whatever we can do." And Diana is sitting at the other side of the table with nothing in front of her, just like, well,
Like,
fuck.
you know,
No.
not a single queer woman in the town. Really? Of course. Right?
Come on.
All of them kind of look at you and blink sort of strangely, and then go back to being really, like, interested in the men around.
Well,
Look,
got any fish? What's a fish like?
Oh, they're wonderful, and they bring you this very large, succulent-looking fish that looks like almost immaculate.
Can I roll a perception check on it?
You can, yes.
Alright, don't want to find myself boating out to sea. God damn it!
You sniff the fish and you're like, there might be something wrong with this, I'm not sure, I'm really not sure about this. And one of the girls goes, "If you want one of us to try it in front of you to prove it's not poisoned, we're willing to do so."
Wow,
This
where
fish
were
is
you in
not-
that other town?
This fish is caught freshly today. It's very beautiful and very succulent.
Well, I don't know.
What would you prefer instead? And they offer you literally anything you want.
Water's fine. I'm good.
Okay, they bring you water and they bring everyone else this like banquet. They, as I said before, they completely ignore Diana.
But I am going to try my hand. I'm sure I'm going to get the same treatment at the other place, but just try it out. I'm going to walk across the way and go to the stork, just to satisfy my curiosity.
You walk into the stork. You get a sort of like, response as soon as you walk in. But because there's no one making a fuss of everything, they do kind of vaguely react to you. When you ask for like food and drink and stuff, they sort of bring you a very basic food and drink, as in they're like tolerating you rather than like actively ignoring you like they were on the other end.
Okay, it's a start. I'll take it. And then after I actually get some food in me, I'll be less cranky and I'll go back over and join my companions.
Okay. Cutting back to the other end, all 3 of them are basically getting like full on like massages and dinner and as much ale as they can drink and everything like that. And at one point the girls walk up and they bring this crate of what looks like very strange alcohol, and they pull out a bottle and they say, "This is the alcohol we create here. It is Retsina. It's a very fine pine alcohol." And they offer each of you a bottle of this, and you see them also taking it out and sharing it amongst themselves as well. And you open it and sniff it. It stinks like high alcohol and pine. What do you do?
Politely decline.
Okay.
I'm good with water. It's fine.
is it in a mug or is it in a bottle?
It's in a bowl.
Sorry. I think I'll just put the lid or cap back on or cork back in and just put it in my bag.
Okay.
Oh, for later. I swear, promise.
Okay. Whatever you do, they're very happy just to let you do it. They're like, "Oh, that's fine, that's fine. Do you want some more? Do you want some?" And they're basically like completely like falling over you to do anything they can.
I am so fascinated by this. I am watching all of the women and scrutinizing them so closely because now Diana's wondering if any of them happen to be devotees of the Great Cold One who are up to some sneaky shit.
So how about anyone like the cold one? Anyone?
They all look at you and blink and they go, but the great cold one takes you down to the cold below. No, we could never look at that. And one of them says, that's what happens to girls who, do things with men without rings on their fingers. The great cold one comes for them. I can't do that.
Oh dear. Where do they hang out?
They sort of look at you very
Really subtle there,
confused and go,
Rutherford.
what do you mean?
The one,
The cool
people.
chicks.
The cold ones.
They all kind of look at you very much like, no one would worship the great cold one. Great cold one's like, no, I don't want to be dragged to the cold below.
Well, what if I did?
They immediately start moving away from Rutherford.
I worship the cold one too.
Yeah. Everyone loves the cold one right here.
To have the cold one next to you means to have someone that can keep you warm.
They all kind of move away from Belle and Rutherford, and all of them seem to now to be completely devoted over Talbot.
Oh no.
Diana just kind of looks at Rutherford and Belay. It's like, you guys aren't very subtle. You know that, right?
Yeah, Diana,
It was once to end.
they seem to be like kind of in like, the palm of the hand. So like, what do you think we should ask them? I mean, like, they'll probably answer anything that we ask. Well, not us now, but Talbot
I don't
over there
know,
could slip a message.
I don't know, but you really scared them off like that. So
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's totally fine. I am good.
And they didn't even pay for the scritches, and that's half the problem.
Yes. How is an honest bear going to make money?
We'll make
I
it.
don't know.
So
I don't know, but if there's any questions you feel like we really need an answer to, we're gonna have to sneak them to Talbot and have him find a way to.
at this point, the girls kind of like take Talbot by the hand and take him upstairs. They take him to this elaborate room where they're sort of like, this is everything, this is your room, and inside is like this huge double bed that looks incredibly comfortable, and there's like food and everything in here, and they say, this is your room. I mean, yes, you'll be on your own, but it's everything here that you'd ever want. And then after they've sort of taken him to his room, they come back and they go, the rest of you are all in here. They sort of kick open a door to a very dank smelling cellar with like 3 like rough looking beds in it, and go, yeah, you're in there.
No, wait, no, I said the gold one. Like, because y'all wear a bunch of gold, right? That's who you worship.
They look at you with like narrowed eyes and they're not really sure what you're saying.
Does the cold one live down here? Is that where? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
sorry, my bear friend has, an accent. The g and k sound very similar. Easy
Roll-
mistake to make.
Do a roll of let's take your etiquette into it. Roll your etiquette. Let's see if
Oh,
you
hell
can
yeah.
convince them.
I'm good at these, halfway.
I have +1 etiquette.
You tell them that it's my friend's got a bad accent, and a couple of them begin to go, well, maybe, okay. So they take you upstairs and they show you to a nice, far more comfortable room.
Better.
By the way, Rutherford, I don't think you have a bad accent. I love it.
So
Belay, that
currently,
is the nicest thing I've heard all day. Thank you.
you and Rutherford both get offered really comfortable rooms. Diana, unfortunately, is stuck with this dank smelling cellar.
No, Diana is going with us. That's our friend.
They kind of all move off, like they all like, no, you can't have people sharing the same room. I mean, what if she got impregnated? We can't have that.
Alright, well, she can stay with me. It's not gonna happen.
They sort of give her a look as in, would she mate with a bear?
I snore real loud. No way.
Think she'd mate with a bear?
I just look at the women like.
They're just like,
man.
Okay, you can stay with the bear. We kind of agree you're not going to sleep with a bear. So
Oh my god.
you all have comfortable rooms at least, so that's at least something.
Alright.
We see which room they took Talbot up to.
Yes, you do. There's like 5 rooms upstairs, and 3 of the rooms are taken by the groups of you. So once the girls go away, you can try and sneak to each other's rooms because you're on the same like corridor now.
Let's all stay with Talbot.
To spy on him and make sure he's okay.
We can all sleep in that big bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll definitely let everybody in. And as soon as I see your faces, I'm just relieved that it's not the locals anymore.
So you're all now in the same room for the moment. What do you do?
They coming
Oh.
back?
Got
Are
us
they?
soon.
No, they basically
No,
thought you were
no.
turning in for the night.
Yes. I think we need to go down to docks at some point.
Bad things typically happen at the docks at night.
Yes.
Sure did last night.
True.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely where we need to go.
Okay.
We're going to be worshiping somebody you weren't supposed to worship. That'd be the place and time to do it.
Especially if they drag you into the sea, you'd want to be close to there. So I'm going to climb up and I'm going to just like open a window and be like, all right, let's just climb out and we'll go. They won't see us.
Okay. Are you all sneaking out of the inn then?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you all sneak out of the inn through like tying a sheet together and climbing down.
Yes.
Yep.
Including Rutherford, which you've never seen a bear climb down a rope before, but it's quite hilarious.
It's never had this much fun ever.
You never snuck out of your like room at night?
We didn't have rooms. We lived in like a forest in the trees and things. I snuck out a tree once in a while.
You'll be fine then.
All right, this is good.
Okay.
Friends, how tall is Rutherford?
Oh, like 7-8 feet.
I thought. That's what I thought. Okay.
You know, small for bear.
Small for bear. Okay.
So you all head down this thing towards the docks, and as you eventually get to the docks, you see out in the water there seems to be like a single ship of paddling towards the open ocean.
Oh, dear. Can I roll perception check to see who's up?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally.
You notice it's definitely not a fishing. Although it's a fishing boat that's been taken, you notice the 2 or 3 people on it are definitely not fisher people.
Are they men?
No.
Oh.
They're definitely women, and they seem to be like rowing out to the middle of the ocean.
Oh, great.
Far out are they?
They are. If you ran to the end of the docks and jumped on a boat, you might be able to catch them.
Let's do it. Who knows
Boat
how to
times.
paddle?
Is there a boat for us to jump into if we were to do that?
There's a couple of fishing boats like tied up all along the docks.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot better than trying to jump onto their boat.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
So
not good at paddling, but let's go.
All right, let's go.
you sprint down towards the docks, and you jump in a boat, and you begin to paddle after this other boat.
I've also got a spyglass with me, so I can, while, people stronger than me are doing that, I can also try to get a better look at what we're catching up to.
Okay. So who's like rowing at the moment?
Rutherford.
A bear rowing, just like with his mouth just like. "Arr."
He's just.
Okay.
I've got my paws over the sides and.
You're just paddling with your paws. Okay.
Yes.
Row, Rutherford. Row all night long.
I'll row till the morning comes.
So as you're sort of following this other boat, eventually it seems to stop, and you continue paddling towards it. As you see, someone on the boat seems to stand, and they seem to stand with their arms outstretched and seem to be yelling something towards the sea, but you can't really hear much. You just are very aware there's something on the wind that sounds like someone yelling into the wind.
I'm just trying to get a closer look through the spyglass.
Spyglass, when you're kind of about maybe 30 feet away at this point, and you can see that the person's arms are like fully outstretched, and they seem to be like yelling some sort of incantation or something. And suddenly, around the bottom of you, you begin to feel the water move.
Oh.
And
Oh, no.
it's like a whirlpool is beginning to develop around the ship that you're
I
paddling
have made
towards.
so many mistakes today.
I'm putting the spyglass away.
I stop paddling and start paddling backwards slightly.
As you try and turn the boat around to start paddling around, you feel the boat begin to get caught in the whirlpool,
Oh dear
and
God.
it's being dragged closer towards the middle, and you're beginning to spiral around.
Rutherford,
Yeah.
paddle faster. Paddle faster, please.
I paddle as fast as I can.
I start paddling with my spoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna help.
You paddle and you paddle and you paddle, but it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, and eventually everything just goes black.
Oh shit. No, I fucked that up. Sorry everyone.
We all decided to go out here.
You wake up.
No.
Well, Diana and Rutherford wake up, and you seem to be in cages.
Oh, great. Like in the woods.
You look over,
Bye.
and Talbot and Belly seem to have been stripped completely naked of all their gear and all their equipment and everything, and they're tied to a wheel. And
Oh.
It's like a very large wheel, like a sort of pirate wheel, and between the spokes there seems to be places to tie people to, and the two of them seem to be tied to this wheel, and next to them are like about 50-60 men on different wheels all the way around this room.
Well, we found the men. Where's Dory?
In the middle of the room there's like this aqueduct,
Oh no.
and standing on top of the aqueduct seems to be the matriarch.
Oh,
And
God.
all around this room are women in like long black robes holding torches.
Oh dear.
So at
Like
this
this?
point, Diana realizes she's still got all her gear.
Oh.
Okay.
Rutherford has whatever gear he had.
Oh no. All right.
The
Well,
other two don't have anything
the
at
bare
all, but they are
necessities.
just tied to a wheel.
I'll use my
and-
ball bearings.
The matriarch seems to hold her arms out and says, "Ladies, ladies, it is time." And you hear a gong get sounded.
Oh dear. Can I pick the lock on my key?
It's this bear trying to pick a lock. Sure, roll.
I have no way of doing.
Sure, just roll a natural 20 and we'll see what happens.
How close are our cages to each other?
Oh, perfect.
You're pretty near each other. You
Yeah.
could probably reach him if you like leaned.
I think I broke 2 of my nails.
Well, I'm gonna try working on mine because I have thieves' tools in my bag.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
As you begin working on yours, the matriarch raises her arms and says, "May the mother bless you." And all the women in the room reply with, "And bless us all." And then it goes back, it's like a call and response. So, matriarch,
Okay, I'm gonna.
we
Oh,
raise
God.
our faces to hers, that she may look upon our hearts. We praise her name, we bless her name forever. On this night, great mother who waits beyond the waves, we petition you with humble yet hopeful hearts. We bring before you these gifts, offered by your daughters on the shore. Grant them peace, guard and govern them, bless them with your glory, that they may be faithful and bring forth your image to the land. Hold within your hands those who have passed beyond the seas, that they may greet us as we greet the water on our final days, with shining eyes and open arms. We pray you accept our humble offering of thanks. Guide our days in peace and prosperity, and protect us from the great cold one who seeks to taint your daughters and drag them down to the deep below, far from your eyes. Count us among your chosen, and bless our meager gifts. Approve them, cleanse them, as we return their spirits to the sea. Scorn not the lesser set, but turn your kindly countenance upon them, and grant that they be able to accept your power, to walk by your side on the day you rise to walk upon our shore. And at this point you notice one of the men being dragged from one of the wheels to in front of the matriarch, and she sort of raises her arms again as the entire congregation seem to say, "To the mother we pray, to the mother we come, to the mother they fall." And as the man is sort of like left in front of the matriarch looks down to him and says, "To the mother we pray." And as all the women around say, "To the mother they fall," she kicks him in the chest into the pit.
God.
Oh no. No.
So it's now Diana's thieves check, try and get out for the cage.
I'm gonna look over at who's trying with me, Talbot.
Talbot's like on the wheel next to you. The two of
Okay.
you, although you look to the guy to your, like let's say Talbot's on your right, you look to the guy on the left. He looks like he's been attached to the wheel for a while. His breath stinks of the Retsini, that very strong pine self, like he's been kept drunk, and that's the only reason he's not had any strength. He's got like a really unkempt beard, and he just looks like he's just completely far gone.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, "Hey man, look like you've been down here for a while. They passed that gong?"
He just kind of goes, "Blah, whoa." And at this point you notice some of the women walking to the wheel next to you and unhooking men and just dragging them towards the edge of the aqueduct. And as they get to the edge, they basically repeat, "To the mother they pray, to the mother they fall," and kick them in the chest into the pit. I say a pit, it's the aqueduct, but yeah.
Diana, were you picking a lock or something?
Yep, it's Diana's roll to pick the lock.
Come on.
Yep.
Hey.
You managed to unlock your cage very subtly, as in no one has noticed you unlocking your cage, as both sides of the aqueduct women seem to be grabbing men off the wheels, dragging them towards the pit and kicking them in.
So I'm free,
You're free at the moment, yep.
Diana, do me a solid and
and I'm coming over to try to get my bear friend free.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yep.
Yes.
You undo the cage for Rutherford, and the two of you sort of can like slink behind the wheel. So you've not been noticed escaping at this point, and you notice that a lot of the women are like dragging these men towards. They seem to be dealing with the wheels that Talbot and Belly are not on yet. They seem to be dealing with the ones further along, so you might be able to free them without anyone noticing.
How are they attached to the wheel?
They seem to be like their arms are over a bar, and then they seem to be tied behind the bar. So basically, if you had a knife, you could easily cut through the ropes.
do I have
I've
my
got a
gear?
dagger. I've got daggers.
Do I have my gear as well?
You have, yeah. Well, considering that they don't know where you're keeping your gear, yes. You do.
It's keistered. Right.
Eastern, yes.
I pulled out my sword.
It's finally been answered, everyone.
Note to self: never borrow Rutherford's gear. Okay.
Anything,
Or
ever.
at least use some hand sanitizer app.
Right?
Okay. So, are you going to try and free Belly and Talbot?
Yes, I'll go to Talbot.
Okay. It's just if you've got a bladed weapon, it's just you don't even need to roll for it. You just cut them free.
All right.
But as you cut them free, you notice that one of the men from the next wheel across has tried to make a break for it, but he's collapsed really quickly. The women just grab his head, wrench his head back, and pour more Retsina down his throat. And then they just, again, continue dragging him to the edge and then kick him into the pit. At this point, you notice the pit has begun to bubble quite strongly. It looks like there's something beginning to arise from the pit.
Oh, gross. Oh,
Yep.
dear.
Get distance from that pit and from
Yep,
a
you
sight
can.
from them.
There's a set of stairs up to a corridor, or there's like it looks like a sort of long, like straight towards a door. So it's up to you if you want to go up the stairs or if you want to go straight along to the door.
Since I have more gear, I arm Belay and Talbot if they're willing to take it.
Not if that's where it's being stored. No.
Belay?
I don't care. Just get me off of this wheel, please.
All right.
So
I push an axe at Belay.
okay, you cut Belly and Talbot off. The rest of the men on the wheel seem to sort of make like noises towards you, and you look towards the aqueduct as a very greyish head seems to rise. It's like a very humanoid head, but it's like slick, and it looks like a greyish in colour, and a humanoid figure rises and seems to walk up the steps towards the other side, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, humanoid. But as I said, the skin is grey, and as it turns to look towards you, its big like white pupils shoot back to reveal this thick black pupil and a mouth full of these hundreds and hundreds of small, like dart-like teeth. Basically, this is fishmen armed with tridents arising from the water. And as you see the first one, more begin to like appear from the water and walk to each side. And the matriarch raises her arm and says, "Ladies, it is time. Take the blessing. Take the present." And at this point, all the women who have finished like dragging the men to the thing disrobe to reveal they are completely naked and lie down on the ground as these fishmen approach. What do you do?
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Oh, there's a door we can get to?
There's a door at the back that you can just bolt through if you want.
Yeah, we may be in over our heads here.
Seems like nothing has quite gone right the last few days, and this seems like like we're starting out in a bad spot here. It can only get worse.
Yeah. We could just kill all these fish.
All right.
There's currently about 20 fishmen just arrived, and you notice more keep coming from the pool.
Oh dear.
Hmm.
Well, no one will take my keistered weapons.
No one told you to store weapons there. Oof.
At this
Where
point,
else is he gonna keep
Well,
them?
yeah, where
Talbot?
was I gonna put them?
At this point, you note some of the fishmen begin basically copulating with the women from Eisenport.
Oh God.
Ooh.
I don't need to see this.
Can't unsee that. Yeah.
We will, I guess, leave you alone.
Yes.
They
Do
clearly
your-
don't need us.
Nope.
Any symbols, like religious symbols on the wall, or any marks of this being an underground temple, or
There's
I don't know.
The grounds seems to be like stone tiles kind of thing. The aqueduct itself seems to have lots of markings around it. But as I said, you're quite far away, so you can't look at it that closely. But there does seem to be like a lot of like runic markings all the way around it.
Just wondering
So-
if there's any activated besides her incantation, you know?
So would it be fair to say that these women have points in their animal handling base skill?
Yes.
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 Oh, God.
Walk
Just headed
into
down.
a fish call. What is that? What was that?
A forgy?
Oh,
It's
God.
probably the best way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's currently about 20, 30 women currently basically
Oh,
copulating
I
with fishmen, and there seems to be
Oh.
more rising as the last of the men are kicked into the pit.
Well, we could start chopping up fish sticks.
How many bolts
Are
do
they-
I have in my crossbow?
You've probably got about 20 or so.
Oh, I
But
wish I had
consi-
my crossbow.
Considering that
I-
each of these fishmen are armed with tridents, it would just basically be a giant
Oh.
combat scene, so...
oh, we would get killed.
Completely slaughtered, especially
Would it
since
be-
not everybody is weaponized.
Would it be easier to kill the fishmen or the women? Because it's not just one side here.
It's
True.
true. Well,
They don't like the idea of it, but I had to put it out there.
what if we ran? Live to die another day, you know?
I mean, we're just gonna get back and we're gonna tell. Oh, man.
Here's the thing: who are still on that wheel, who are going to be turned into those creatures.
Oh yes, let's just start letting people free.
There's not that
Okay.
many left. There's about maybe 2 or 3 that haven't been taken over yet.
Well,
But they will be the next time.
They are basically still
This is
just
going to
still
keep
getting the
happening.
last few of them off and dragging them one by one.
oh God.
Going to keep happening.
I just need to make sure I get my spoon back. I feel like there's somebody out there that needs it. Maybe I'll meet them in my adventures sometime. I don't know. But I need to get that spoon back before we go.
If we don't try to do something, this is going to keep happening. Towns that are going to keep suffering.
All right, I will do whatever you decide. You have my sword, my butt sword.
And I have your butt axe.
You can also have my butt crossbow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'd rather have the butt crossbow than butt axe.
I'll trade you.
All right, I don't want to see you pull that out, but you go for it.
All right, here we go. Enjoy.
I should not have looked. Why did I do that? I'll stick with my claws, thank you.
If we die, you won't have too long to think about that image.
It's true.
So,
All right.
Very, very true.
What is plan?
I'm going to fire a crossbow at one of the fishmen.
Okay.
All right.
I just did the plan.
Okay, roll. Nice.
Hey.
Yep. You shoot it, it goes straight to the head. You hear a kind of... As it seems to slump on top of the woman it was on. It seems to alarm every other one nearby. It goes... And they all sort of sit up and draw their tridents and begin moving towards you.
Surprisingly enough, this crossbow doesn't stink.
oh gosh.
You now have about 17 odd fishmen moving towards you, armed with tridents.
Well, I know what my focus is. I hate to do it, but the matriarch, because
Okay.
this is creeping me out.
Okay. Are you gonna shoot the matriarch?
Yeah, because I don't want her to create a couple more fishmen with the
Okay.
few remaining men that there are. So, is it my d20 plus dex?
Yep. Yes, you shoot her. It goes right through her neck. She sort of goes, ladies, my time has come. And she falls from where she is into the pit.
Go to hell for that. Oh, I hope I did the right thing.
You totally did. I'll just say it. You did the right thing. Belay is telling you. You did the right thing.
It's just, it's a religious figure. I just feel icky. It's okay. Okay.
So you now have this wave of 17 fishmen approaching on you. Basically, there's a turn of Rutherford and Talbot, and then the fishmen are almost upon you.
I think I'm just kind of holding steady until they get too close to do anything, because, yeah, I don't have anything to do to attack at range with right now. So I'll wait till they get close and maybe I can... may I do something then?
Okay. What's Rutherford doing? If we can hear him. Oh, he's
dropped.
Oh no, we lost him.
Fishman must have got him already.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I was
right.
gonna say he's probably busy getting a weapon out of his butt.
Okay. We'll assume his turn's passed. It's back to you, and hopefully when he does come back, we'll just get him to do his turn that he missed while you were away. So, what do you want to do now?
Whose turn is it?
It's all of you to decide what you want to do, first of all. Are you wanting to stay and fight the thing? Are you wanting to run away? What do you want to do?
Oh, I mean,
Staying fighting?
I had success in killing one, so I would say that Belay is feeling quite confident.
Who can do some range damage can take advantage of that opportunity.
You probably have one more turn before they'd be on you.
As soon
there
as
he's back.
one of them gets close enough, yeah, I just want to try to take a trident from them. Maybe claw them in the face a little bit, take their
Okay.
weapon.
Rutherford!
Sorry.
Well, we'll do. What is
Sorry
Rutherford
about
going
that.
to do?
Rutherford is going to kill. Rutherford is going to kill. I'm sorry, I missed so much of that.
Okay. So are you just going to leap at a fishman?
Yes.
Okay. Roll.
All right.
You leap towards them. They manage to dodge you with ease, and they swing their trident.
Oh,
Oh no, poor Rutherford.
They slash you around the side. You've got quite a bad wound now.
Oh no. All right.
So it's now Talbot.
Okay, yeah. God, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. Rutherford had to jump out there, didn't he?
He
I'm
did. He
gonna.
kind of leapt forward
Do it,
and
Talbot.
got sliced.
I want to try to take the weapon from the one that attacked him.
Yeah.
Okay, roll. Yep, you manage to sort of like barrel into his chest. It drops the trident. You pick it up and sort of back off, sort of pushing Rutherford back with you towards the rest of the group.
Mm.
Thank you.
I'm just holding the pointy end out towards these fishmen.
There are about, as I said, there's about 16, 18 of them going and sort of moving towards you, all holding tridents,
Except for that one.
except for one of them, which is just sort of looking at like,
Except for
you
one.
bastard.
Except for that asshole.
So, what are you doing as a group? Are you staying to attack again, or are you backing off?
I know Belay is going to fire off another round at one of
Okay.
these fishy folk.
Roll.
23.
Yep. You shoot another one through the head. It collapses to the ground. At this point, you notice that it seems to have attracted the attention of the group on the other side of the aqueduct.
Oh,
Ugh.
oh dear.
okay.
Are they part of the overall count?
Not yet,
Oh, piss.
Oh dear God.
but they'll have another 2 turns to get to you. So you've only got to deal with 15 of them before then.
Is that all?
So it's Diana.
Try to take one out with the crossbow before we, have to decide to get out of there.
Okay. Roll. You shoot it. It takes it square in the chest and just hisses at you loudly and doesn't seem to react to it.
Okay. Damn it. Okay. Well, some company pretty soon. What do you think?
Run.
It's now the injured bear.
I will take Talbot's lead. He's trying to protect me. I think I'm going to just fall back with him.
Okay. There is a door basically directly behind you that you can start running towards if you want.
I will start running towards the door. Sorry, everyone.
Okay. It's now Talbot.
Yeah, I thought running would be a good idea. Yeah, I'm good with this. Let's go.
Okay, so
Wait.
Talbot and Rutherford are running for the door. It's now
Take it,
back to
Talbot.
Belly.
Can I back up towards the door and fire?
Yep.
I want to do that then.
Okay, roll.
No.
You again shoot one straight in the chest, but it just hisses at you and it doesn't seem to have any difference. It just moves towards you, swinging its trident. It's
Reload
now
and
Diana.
move.
Well, I'm going to try to do what Belay just did. Get closer to the door. Try to get off a shot.
Okay, roll.
Looks better this time than the last one did.
Nope, again,
Oh.
you sink an arrow straight into another one of them. It just
Okay.
doesn't do anything. They're just like, it doesn't seem to slow them down. They just keep going towards you. The one you shot before seems to be bleeding quite badly, but it doesn't seem to slow it down. It seems intent on trying to kill you.
It's a sign that it's time for us to run.
Yeah.
So Rutherford breaks through the door. In front of you, there is your cart, but it's like 7 or 8 bags of what look like loot that seem to have taken off things. They're just lying around next to the cart. You notice that the cart driver is sort of dealing with the horse, as 2 sort of pregnant women seem to be like looking over what's there in the pile and sort of idly like picking things up and sort of throwing them down.
Oh,
What do you do?
I'm going to go to the cart.
Okay. You gonna go and just jump on the cart?
I don't know. I'm so confused. I don't want to die. Not like this. Not like this.
Okay. It's now Talbot.
Yeah, let's tell our wagon driver that we're gonna have some company real soon, and we should probably go.
Okay. So you
would
run
jump
out
on that
basically
cart.
going, "Start the cart!"
Yes, basically.
Are you grabbing any loot on the way past, considering you're still naked?
Oh, I've got my fur, but if I can reach down and grab a bag of something.
There's like several bags of loot. Some of it must be your own stuff, but you don't know where it is. It's like the whole pile is just there.
Alright, I'll just grab the first one that I can. I
Okay.
don't want to slow down for these.
You
these
grab a
fishermen.
bag of loot, throw it on the cart, and then jump on. It's now Belly.
Move up and grab a bag of. I'm actually going to take a moment to look through the bags of loot to find specifically my spoon before saying F. The
Roll
rest
to
of
see
the
if you can
loot.
find your spoon.
Need the goddamn spoon.
No, I think I need it.
Your perception as well, if you can add to this.
Thank you so much.
Natural
Yes.
20, yes.
I find that broken spoon.
You see a bag containing what's obviously your shirt, and as you grab it, you look into it, and your spoon's there. You also
Good, grab
notice
the whole
that there
bag.
is Talbot's gear in there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, grab it all, get in the cart with it.
Okay, it's now
That's what
Diana.
my natural 20 is for.
So this just looks to be the loot of the poor men that are being turned into fishmen.
Yep.
So on the off chance that one of them might contain some evidence of Dorian, I am going to just, as I go past, and toss it into the cart.
Okay.
I wouldn't know what I'm necessarily looking for, but I am going to grab one just...
That's fine. If you're just grabbing a bag and jumping on the cart, that's fine. You don't need to roll for it. It's
Okay.
just a simple like grab. It's just a simple grab as you run past. It should be fine. So.
Toss it in the cart.
Yep. So all of you are now on the cart, and the cart like hightails it out with this group of fishmen bursting from the door, just going. You
I'm-
hear the sound of Anders going, "What the fuck are you?" as you depart from the town.
Oh, fuck.
So.
And I still make shots as we're,
Yeah,
you know...
you can take shots as you're leaving.
I throw my keister
Roll to
axe.
see. Roll. Both of you roll to see if you hit.
Hey.
I want to do the same.
I throw my crossbow at them.
You shoot from there. You manage to shoot one through the head, and it collapses in the street. You both of you manage to kill one. So
Yeah.
you kill
Yes.
2 more passing shots as you leave, and as you sort of sitting in the cart, all of you breathing heavily, apart from Rutherford who's sitting up front breathing heavily, and
Yes.
Talbot who's desperately clutching this trident. You head straight south, and you push straight on, and even though you're meant to stop in other cities, you just keep pushing on, and eventually it comes to the next morning, and you've ridden all night to get back to the city, and Flash is completely exhausted. You notice as you pull into the city, and the rest of you are just totally exhausted. And as you get pulled in the city, the merchant notices you come and runs out and goes, my friends, what has happened? You look injured, Mr. Bear."
Oh, it's dire injury. I was attacked by so many fishmen and fishwomen. It was horrible.
Fish? What are you talking about, fishmen?
I don't even know.
Show him the trident.
There's a trident.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a
this is-
It's a very vicious looking trident there. I mean, look at the edge of it. It's got something laced on it. That's horrible. But where does this come from? What do you mean, fishmen? Did you? This what happened to my son?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe, probably.
Most
Probably. Yeah.
likely. Don't go there. Don't ever go there.
Don't send men there.
No. Don't ever go back there again. That place is like a 4-letter word.
I see, but what became of my son? I mean, I know you've said fishmen, but was he killed? Was he driven out? I mean, what became of him?
I grab the random bag of loot that we took
Mm-hmm.
in there to see if there's anything useful or, indicative that might be in there.
Roll to see if you find anything interesting. If you get like an actual, close enough.
Nice.
You rummage around the bag, you pour it out on the ground, and as you pour it in the ground, he leans down and picks up what looks like an amulet with like cord wrapped around it, and he goes, "This was my son's. I take it that he has met his end. Then, tell me, how were they killing the men?"
It's a religious.
I see.
ritual.
Were they savages? Were they cutting out a heart? Did he suffer?
Suffer. It's a fine line.
Maybe at first, but then it was probably not too bad.
Yeah, he's probably having a good time
Eventually.
at some point.
I think there was some truth to what he wrote about.
Yes, I think he found someone, a special somebody.
Something definitely mate-like.
Yes.
Oh,
So you got that money, right?
he looks completely crestfallen at this point, but he goes, yes, here you go. And he gives you all, I think it was what, 350 gold he said he was going to give you all, something like that.
No, you said 400. You went like 2, 3, 4. I was hoping you'd keep going, but you stopped at 4.
He just sort of nods and he takes out more gold and gives you all 400 gold each. And then he sort of clasps the amulet close to him and then sort of wanders off. And that is the end of the one shot.
Oh,
Man,
Which,
I feel empty inside.
yes.
a little bit.
Very good, very good.
But
Thank you.
before we get to the end, we have some plugging to do. So, starting at the top, please.
Yes.
Say who you are, where you're from, and plug yourself to all hell. The floor is yours. So, starting with Belly, take it away.
I'm Kyle. I'm the Dungeon Maestro for the BomBARDed podcast. What we do is we're a real life band, and we got together and we're like, hey, we should play Dungeons and Dragons as bards. And so we actually have dice that have chords on them. So we roll those dice, and then we create a song every episode based off of what we roll and what's going on in the episode. So every episode you get a brand new song written by us, and we have a great time doing it. It's a lot of fun. They perform their spells, whatever they may be. And so you get a bunch of music and a bunch of D&D and stupid music jokes, which we love, and maybe you'll love too. So, but again, I was playing Belay tonight, Belay Squire, which, just my little halfling buddy, maybe partly bard, just to give that little extra hint in there. I didn't harp on it too much, no pun intended, but definitely intended. And yeah, if you want to follow me personally, my handle on Twitter is boognish_theory. Boognish is spelled BOOGNISH. So just listen to Ween, WEEN, and you'll find the way. It's great. That's all I got.
So, you got any link here? What's your Twitter for BomBARDed?
Oh, it's at BomBARDedCast. So you'll find us on Twitter or most social media. We have our website, which is bombardedcast.com. And we've actually taken all the music, both the songs that we've written for every episode and the original soundtrack that one of our players, Spurrier, has composed. You can get Volume 1 and Volume 2 on our Bandcamp. And you can get OST Volume 1 on our Bandcamp, which I don't know how time is working based off the release of this, but the OST Volume 2 will probably be out by the time this is up, and that's all at bombarded.bandcamp.com.
Anything else you want to plug? Any like Patreon, anything like that you want to tuck in?
No, nothing right off the bat. If you do happen to go to our Bandcamp, all of our albums are up free of charge, or pay what you want. So if you just want to grab it, grab it. If you want to drop us some money, totally cool. We appreciate the support.
Cool. Okay, next actually, Diana, do you have anything to plug?
Nothing nearly as cool as Kyle. My gosh. Oh my gosh.
No.
How do I compete with that? But hi, everybody. I'm Lynn. I play Diana Damon, your lovely human rogue. Like I said, I don't have anything nearly as cool to plug as Kyle. I've been playing RPGs forever and ever, but I'm normally somebody who does them offline. But I love doing one-shots. I love doing things like this. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am very active on Twitter. My handle is Lynn_M_Meyer. It's very straightforward, very easy to find. I'm actually going to be in Toronto the first week of November for something that's not D&D related, but it's related to my day job, which is as an interfaith educator. But if you happen to be in the Toronto area and you want to say hi and look me up and get a coffee or something, you can find me. Some of that information will be up on my Twitter as we get closer to the date. About all I have to plug right now, but if you want to come and talk about all things RPGs, please do.
Great. Do you say you had any streams coming up, charity stuff, or was that all just been passed now?
There's some stuff, but it's not set yet, and I think some of the things that are coming up will be before this comes out, so.
Okay, no problem. Next, for plugging, we have Rutherford.
Yes, this is Scott. I am the Dungeon Master for CSI Neverwinter. I played Rutherford, the bear fighter, tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thank you. And yeah, we have a little podcast called CSI Neverwinter, and we don't really have any Patreons or anything, but we'd love to have people following us over at CSI Neverwinter on Twitter. And yeah, if you feel like checking us out, we have a lot of fun. We joke around. It's an enjoyable podcast.
And you guys are on SoundCloud, yeah?
Yes, we're on SoundCloud. That's where we house our stuff. And yeah, but pretty much anywhere else you can find podcasts, we're there somewhere.
Did I see you guys are also doing a second or new stream? So something CSI as well? Or is that not linked to you guys if I got that completely mixed up?
I know, I think that was me. I got interviewed on a different thing for just DM stuff.
Alright, I remember there was another CSI something and it was from the creators of CSI Neverwinter.
Oh, we're at some point we're attempting to release a CSI Middle Earth.
That was it. Yeah.
Where we're going to do some stuff, Lord of the Rings type stuff, and hopefully we have some recorded, and hopefully some of it'll come out at some point.
All right. Do you want to plug that as well? Get you some hype for it?
Well, I'm nervous it won't come out, but
okay,
but yes, if you want to check out at CSI Middle Earth, hopefully at some point we'll release some episodes of that.
Cool. Okay, and finally we had Talbot.
Hi, I played Talbot Tailfinger tonight, and my name is Scott Blake. I'm the host and DM for Seasons of Skyend, which is a D&D podcast. We've been running weekly chapters for about a year and a half now. It's myself and 3 of my absolutely closest friends. We get together to play D&D in this world where basically gods, governments, anybody that has too much power, they're kind of, taking advantage of that. And the players have to decide what exactly they want to do in a world like that. Are they going to have a rebellion like they did near the end of our first season? Are they going to help a small girl who's sick? Or do they just need to run away from their problems? Which is like the answer half the time, and it's absolutely wonderful.
That's what happened tonight.
But they always promise they're going to go back and make it right sometime, and we'll see if that actually happens. You have to listen to find out. If you want to find us, we are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all of the other podcast places that you can think of. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Skyrend Podcast. We have that same handle on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us online at skyrendpodcast.libsyn.com, while our main website is still currently under construction. But yeah, come give us a follow, come say hi. It's always great to talk to new people.
Cool. I was gonna say, you guys don't have any Patreon or anything like that to plug, do you?
Not yet.
Just
no promises, no spoilers, but
yeah. Just making sure we get all the plugs in, because you guys did a 4 and a bit hour pod plug for me, so you know what, I might as well give you guys all the floor you need for everything you're doing.
But if anybody out there wants to send us money, we certainly won't stop you.
Yeah, P.O. Box. Send it.
Well, thank you for doing this. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that, dearest friends, time has run out for our tale with our group of adventurers. We hope you'll join us in taking the time to support those that dare to traverse our dungeons, and maybe even listen to their own bard's tales, for what is a good story if not shared with as many folk as can be sang to? As for ourselves, you can follow the many tales of Penance RPG through both our Twitter or Facebook at Penance RPG. If you would like to support us in our endeavours, we have both a Patreon at patreon.com/penancerpg and Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/penancerpg. All support, however small it may seem, is gratefully received and will assist us in bringing future projects to your ears.
And as the evil that was in the north returns to legend, and as another group are left changed forever, we only have this to say. Good night out there, whatever you are.